years ago. Comes a day after some emotional testimony in the case.
Photos of 8-year-old Sequoia Turner's body moved both her mother, Charmaine, and her accused killer, Julian Conley, to tears. This as Fulton County Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Karen Sullivan detailed the little girl's autopsy.
This is a photograph of Sequoia's back showing this large gunshot wound on the right side of her upper back.
The defense contends that the right to left, back to front, upward trajectory of the bullet indicates Conley, who was seen on the driver's side of the Jeep, was not Sequoia's killer. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Awaiting more information from a prison in southeast Georgia after a man already serving time is convicted on more serious charges while behind bars.
57-year-old David Cassidy, federal prosecutors say, built 2 bombs while already in a Georgia state prison, mailing them to a federal courthouse in Anchorage, Alaska, and the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. The indictment does not detail how the bombs were built or where the materials were obtained.
Matt Piper reports Cassidy admits he sent the bombs in retaliation for prison conditions. He's sentenced to another 80 years behind bars, where he's been since the early 1990s. And Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta President Raphael Bostic admits he's worried about inflation and sees more on the way.
In an interview for a podcast hosted by George Mason University, Bostic talked about the need to stay vigilant in the fight against inflation. He pointed to the fact that inflation has been elevated above the Fed's target for more than 4.5 years. The Atlanta Fed president also said that sentiment around risks to employment have gone up a lot, adding that for many people that risk is comparable to the inflation risks. And Bostic indicated that such a scenario is creating some tension when it comes to making policy decisions. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
It's 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. And we start with Triple Team Traffic. Here's Smiler Mark McKay.
All right, Judd, it is rugged on the downtown connector headed into Midtown. 7585 northbound is loaded up from Langford Parkway up to a crash that we see on the Jam Cam that knocks out the HOV lane. This is an injury crash, so big first response by Atlanta Fire Rescue, knocking out the HOV lane connector northbound right at the North Avenue overpass, also blocking the HOV entrance from William Street. East side perimeter is recovering from an earlier rollover crash in Tucker. Still delays leaving Highway 78, and much better now between Smyrna and Vinings and Sandy Springs on the inner loop, leaving Smyrna Vinings and the Truist Park region on 285 East. Unfortunately, no hope out of Holly Springs, Ashley Frasca.
Right around 8 o'clock, they started guardrail repair in the right lane, and they're still taking out that right lane, 575 south at Ridgewalk Parkway, exit 9. It is gridlocked back at Holly Springs Parkway, Marietta Highway, so use Highway 5 as your alternate route. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy through lunchtime, then scattered rain showers and thunderstorms rolling in this evening. Today's high is 90, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder, high 79. Drying out by Friday with highs in the upper 70s.
71 degrees in Snellville, 70 in South Fulton, 74 degrees now in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
I am back. Good morning, friends. Mark Arum and crew bending your ears for the next 3 hours. Another stacked and packed show for you. Legendary actor Tony Goldwyn's going to join us in this 9 o'clock hour. You know him from Ghost and Last Samurai and Law and Order. Very excited to have him join us. Political analyst Stephen Lawson live in studio at 10:35. A couple of big political stories. We're going to go live to L.A. at 11:05. You might have heard Scott Slade mention it on Atlanta's Morning News, but Jimmy Kimmel returned the airwaves last night on ABC. In some markets he was still off the air, but a lot of reaction to Kimmel's return there. Big day at the UN yesterday, 11:35. We're going to check in with UN correspondent Pamela Falk on what's going on today and what happened yesterday at the United Nations. First and foremost, though, Deborah, I got to thank Shelley Winter for filling in for me yesterday as I took off for the Jewish New Year. Shelley, always willing to help out. I'm assuming everything went well, Deborah. I was too busy praying for Longoria and Vinny to listen.
Everything went pretty well.
Good.
He was insisting that you should take today off, too, because of all of the research that he did on the holiday. He thought he should have a second day off.
Well, I mean, theoretically, I could have taken multiple days off, but I just missed you guys so much. I just had to come back. There's too much in the news, and it's weird when I go on vacation, like, not vacation, but when I take a day off like yesterday, I get bombarded with these comments on social media like, what the hell were you talking about with the, and I'm like, I wasn't even on the air today. Like, it takes me 5 hours to reply to everything that goes on when I'm not here. So, one and done. Happy New Year to all my Hebrews and Shebrews out there. We are starting the show off with some breaking news at a Dallas ICE facility. This popped just before we came on the air. Apparently, at least 3 people were injured in a shooting at a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement field office in Dallas this morning. That's according to ICE Acting Director Todd Lyons. Quote, preliminary information is a possible sniper. We have 3 individuals that are down at this time, not sure on their condition. They've been taken to the hospital. The suspect dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That, according to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem on a post on X. Quote, details are still emerging, but we confirmed there were multiple injuries and fatalities. The motive of the shooting is unknown. Apparently, at least 2 detainees were shot at the Dallas ICE facility. So not ICE employees, but like people that were being held at ICE. Really crazy story that just popped there. We'll continue to monitor the situation, but at least 2 detainees shot at a Dallas ICE facility. Breaking news that just happened before we got on the show, but if we have any updates on that, we will bring them to you. I want to kick off today, though, with President Trump speaking at the United Nations yesterday, addressing all the countries at the UN.
I thought that was going to be the easiest one, but in war, you never know what's going to happen. There are always lots of surprises, both good and bad. Everyone thought Russia would win this war in 3 days, but it didn't work out that way. It was supposed to be just a quick little skirmish. It's not making Russia look good. It's making them look bad.
Yeah, big developments on what President Trump thinks about the Russia-Ukraine war and the United States' role therein. Let's start our team coverage with White House correspondent John Decker. John, an extended speech from the president yesterday at the United Nations went like 3 times longer than he was scheduled for. What were your biggest takeaways from the president's speech?
Well, there were a few takeaways. It was a fiery speech. It was a confident President Trump returning to the UN for the first time since his first term. The president was very critical of countries that do not have migration policies. He'd like to see countries around the world implement the same type of policies that the U.S. has as it relates to illegal immigration. One of the other big takeaways that came out of the president's one-day trip to New York is an apparent change in his reflection of the war in Ukraine. The president meeting with President Zelensky, expressing his strong support for Ukraine, and then following that up with a social media post saying that Ukraine is now in a position to actually win back all of the territory taken by Russia during the course of this 3.5-year-long war. And the president said the war, I've said this before to you, Mark, the war is making Russia look so weak. It shouldn't take the president 3.5 years to beat Ukraine. He said that's something that should have been done in a week. He called Russia a paper tiger.
Yeah, a big 180 there for sure. Real quick, John, I was watching it live. Was there problems with the president's prompter at some point? Because he kind of went off cuff for a while.
At the very top of the speech, yes, the teleprompter for the president wasn't working. He made reference to that. I would say about a quarter of the speech through, while he read it off his prepared text in front of him, the prompter was functioning again, and then the president finished the speech using the teleprompter. But yeah, the president was not happy about that yesterday morning at the UN.
White House correspondent John Decker. John, thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
I feel bad for President Trump. I rarely, Deborah, have used teleprompters in my career, but the first time I ever did, I was filling in on Channel 2 doing sports. Chuck Dowdle was off and Bill Hartman was off. And so they're like, all right, Aram, you're up. And I was doing sports for the first time on TV. I'd been doing traffic for a while. And I'm sitting at the anchor desk with Monica Kaufman and John Pruitt, like the legends. I've never done this before. I've never worked off a teleprompter before. And I get there, and the prompter, my first ever hit, and the prompter's not working. And I didn't know to bring the scripts with you. You know, I just freeballed it with the prompter down. I think someone was trying to mess with me because the prompter worked fine for Monica and John and Glenn Burns. Everything was fine for them. But as soon as I got on there and I did it, and Monica was like, I don't know how you did that. I'm like, well, I never used a prompter before. But anyway, yeah. I feel bad for anyone that gets up to do a speech and the prompter goes down. But the big headline there from John Decker is that about face. that President Trump has taken on the Russia-Ukraine war. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Zhang has more.
President Trump expressed fresh optimism Tuesday over Ukraine's efforts in the war against Russia.
The other side can fight too, and they've proven that. Maybe it could be that Russia's a paper tiger.
Following his meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the president posted he thinks Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form.
Yeah, really, really strong post. I believe it was on Truth Social. It's a 180, really. And that is the biggest headline that came out of the UN speech yesterday. Following his speech, that post on social media, national security analyst Jim Sciutto from CNN at the UN. Will the president's stance in that post, will it stand, and do you think it'll help Ukraine?
It's for sure. Listen, I think when Ukrainians came to New York, if they had a wish list from this president, he ticked off two major things. One, saying that Ukraine can win back all its territory, which is an extremely sensitive issue for Ukrainians. It's their land and it's their people. Remember, that territory has people living on it. And then the second, the president reiterated that the U.S. would offer some security guarantees to Ukraine in any ultimate peace deal. But the first piece is most significant because the Trump administration has been consistently saying that to end this war, it's just a fact, it's a fait accompli, that Ukraine's going to have to give up some of the eastern part of the country. And I should note, Sarah, that feeling, while not as public or not as advertised, actually goes back to the Biden administration. Because Biden administration officials told me that, hey, listen, at some point, they're going to have to acknowledge they can't win back all their territory. So this is a big shift. The question is, does this shift stay, right? Because, as we know, this president's positions on this war can change from time to time, and Ukrainians are aware of that. And I spoke to several of them after the president's comments, and they said, this is great, let's see if it lasts. And I imagine we're going to hear from President Zelensky in a short time. He will certainly welcome those comments. I expect him to thank President Trump for his support. He did so yesterday. I'd expect him to do it again. And the proof, though, will be in the pudding, right? Does this commitment last over time? And on those security guarantees as well, Zelensky did say we don't have specific things yet, details on paper. Remember, a security guarantee is all about the specifics, right? How far will the U.S. go, how long, etc. The final point I'll make, Sarah, if I can, is that Europe right now is on pins and needles because Russia is testing Europe. It's testing the alliance with these repeated air incursions, drones over Poland, fighter jets over Estonia, drones over civilian airports as well, shutting down flights. And to hear President Trump say yesterday, hey, if that happens again, NATO aircraft can shoot at Russian aircraft, that's quite a big change as well. But it's also a nervous time in Europe because the risks of escalation, if that were to happen, are very real.
Jim Sciutto this morning at the United Nations, again at 11:35. Our longtime UN correspondent, she's been working at the UN for years, Pamela Falk's going to join us with more reaction to some pretty big headlines that came out of the UN yesterday. Here's more from President Trump talking about what's going on in the Mideast right now.
Now, as if to encourage continued conflict, some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities.
Again, we'll go live to the UN after the news at 11:35. I haven't even said this yet. 5K a day bonus blitz. I'm going to give you a keyword in less than an hour, and a chance for you to win $1,000 here on the Mark Arum Show. Just enter that keyword when I give it to you into the WSB radio app. Bing, bang, boom. You could be $1,000 richer. All right, following breaking news out of Dallas, 3 people shot at a ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. We're trying to get some more information. We'll update that big story after A quick break and a check of the traffic on this Wednesday morning. Let's say hello and good morning to Ashley Frasca.
Hey, Mark. Things are not pleasant getting out of Holly Springs. Guardrail repair has been going on for over an hour in the right lane down at Ridgewalk Parkway along 575 South. So it's time to take Bells Ferry or Highway 5, Holly Springs Parkway, Marietta Highway is your alternate. And a crash in the HOV lane downtown, connector northbound before 10th Street has things really heavy on the brakes coming up from Langford Parkway. Traffic brought to you by Staples. Have you heard the Staples Easy button is back with even more easy? Press it for custom print, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus Blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
I just won $1,000 from WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus Blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 10 a.m.
I am so excited.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're hosting an adoption drive for dog and diamond lovers. Join D. Geller & Son this Saturday from noon to 3 in our Kennesaw and Sandy Springs showrooms for a dog adoption drive. Find your new best friend, and D. Geller & Son will cover in-home training. Buy one of our diamond dog bond necklaces, and 100% of the proceeds go to Fur Kids Animal Rescue. That's this Saturday from noon to 3 at D. Geller & Son Jewelers in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs.
Barry Manilow.
Looks like we made it.
The last Duluth concert. Barry Manilow. See him performing all the hits for one night only. Barry Manilow at Gas South Arena, Friday, January 16th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Creation displays such a beautiful landscape. You deserve to see it all. Don't let your old, big, and bulky windows block your view.
It's Jonathan and Ted from North Georgia Replacement Windows. Brighten your home with more daylight and bigger views with Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows.
Our windows come with narrow frames giving you more light. Experience the Infinity from Marvin fiberglass difference at your home or in our new Alpharetta showroom.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
Now, it's your time to make more money and be your own boss. Come to the Franchise Show on October 4th and 5th at the Gas South Convention Center to meet with the best money-making franchises. Learn how you can open a successful business. This life-changing event is your only chance to see all the hottest money-making opportunities in one place. Find the perfect business for you at the Franchise Show, presented by the Entrepreneur's Source, October 4th and 5th at the Gas South Convention Center. Get tickets at atlantafranchiseshow.com.
Chris Chandler here. What a difference Wise Guys Pro Wash made at my house. My driveway and patio probably hadn't been touched in 20 years. They're spotless now. Book them now yourself. First-time customers mention my name, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your first wash. WiseGuysProWash.com.
I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
Part of Jimmy Kimmel's extended monologue as he returned to his show on ABC in some markets. Some markets he was still off. Later on in the program, in fact, right after the news at 11, we're going to go live to L.A., talk to a reporter from KNX in Los Angeles about the Kimmel return to the areas and what he had to say in his opening monologue. Meanwhile, welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Again, we are following breaking news out of Dallas, Texas. At least 3 people shot at a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility on Dallas. Suspect dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That, according to Homeland Security expert Kristi Noem on a post on Twitter. Speaking of suspects, a little bit later in the show, the Ryan Ruth, you guys remember that name? He was the guy that was arrested for trying to assassinate President Trump outside that golf course in Florida. We have a verdict in the Ryan Ruth case. Peter Haralambous is down in Florida for ABC, and he'll give us a breakdown there. 5K Day bonus blitz keyword coming up after the news at 10. Another chance for you and $1,000 here on WSB. A local story that caught my attention, Deborah. We've talked about this for a long time on the show, where people just will squat in a house, and it's like near impossible for some reason to get them out. Like there's a vacant house or something, and people just take over, and you can't. I don't know what the mechanism is to get them out, but you can't just like yank them out and throw their stuff out. You got to get the sheriffs involved, whatever. Apparently, there's a huge swath of squatters now. I think it was in DeKalb County.
Yeah, this is in DeKalb County, and a lot of the residents there are really upset. They're kind of saying, hey, people need to step in because these squatters are taking over homes. But they're not just empty homes that are like for sale by someone that hasn't sold them. They're all managed by these corporate landlords, so people that really aren't even in the neighborhoods. And then they're empty. Some of them are for sale, but they're all kind of boarded up, and they've been occupied by these squatters. And the neighbors, they're really upset because sometimes the squatters start to go over to other properties. They kind of make people nervous. They leave a lot of trash in areas, and the place is called Invitation Homes. So they've been they've called out them, and they say that they regularly monitor property, but they're still noticing a lot of people that shouldn't be there.
So there's a lot of layers to this story. First and foremost, I think it should be addressed that these are corporately owned homes. Like I'm imagining like BlackRock, right? They come in. We've seen huge increases in rents and. Yep. Because we have these corporate folks coming in and buying up all the properties. When Maya and I were looking at our house for a new house a couple of years ago, we would get to an open house and they'd be like, we've already had 4 cash offers above asking price. And I'm like, cash offer to pay for the whole? And it was these conglomerates, these corporations that were coming in. So that really impacted the market. And that was at the time, a seller's market because they were coming in. The big companies were doing that. Now it's more of a buyer's market because the inventory is so limited. But, you have the squatter issue. You have the BlackRock issue. But you have the people in those neighborhoods. Like, imagine where you're living right now. You got a nice little cul-de-sac. You're in the suburbs. White picket fence, 2.5 kids and a dog and all that. Or a bunny, Deborah. I don't want to. A bunny. And all of a sudden, there's a vacant house that one of these companies purchased, and no one's living there because it's, it's a slow real estate market. And then all of a sudden, you got 14 squatters in there, and as you mentioned, Deborah, trash and all like that. That lowers the home values of everyone in the neighborhood. There's got to be a way to facilitate. There's got to be an easier process to get rid of squatters. I don't know who's protecting squatters' rights. Like why?
I know, right?
Yeah, it's crazy that oh yeah, we know you don't own this home and you're not renting this home but we can't do nothing. You're a squatter. You're a squatter. That's what I'm just gonna claim a squatter. Squatter's rights, even though I'm not squatting. If I get pulled over for speeding, officer, I'm a squatter. I'm squatting in this car. You can't do anything to get me out. Crazy story, but interesting. All right, so keep me posted on that, Deborah, because that impacts a lot of folks for sure. And not that I am, I have no empathy for homeless people, but you're squatting in a house. You should be able to kick them out of your house. Yeah. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. All right, Deborah, when we come back, reaction from President Trump on Jimmy Kimmel's return. We'll play some audio from Kimmel's return, and we're going to follow this breaking news out of Dallas. 3 people shot, and the suspect dies of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, a shooting at the Dallas ICE facility in Texas. We'll update you on that. Social media is active, at Mark Airman, at WSB Radio.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you've said that income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. But what income streams require the most attention?
Yeah, so if you've got a pension or if you're living off of Social Security, you kind of know those income streams show up in your mailbox. That's mailbox money. It's almost like you're still working, and it doesn't really require that much attention. But most people that come into the office today, they are having to use their 401ks, their IRAs, SEP Simples, 403Bs that are invested in the market to generate income. And anytime you're going to use a market-linked asset where you have to go in and decide when you're going to buy and sell to generate your income, it takes a ton more effort, energy, and attention to get that piece of the puzzle right. But it doesn't actually have to be that way.
So, Matt, the number one fear of adults in retirement is outliving their money. How do we get started building income today?
Well, you can get started today. You'd call us for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement roadmap. We want to build a GPS for you that's going to help navigate retirement, and it's going to have a focus on building and preserving income. 770-280-1488. We've got a representative standing by to talk to you right now. 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we are available across the metro Atlanta area to meet with you at a time and place that fits your schedule. Again, 770-280-1488 or online at retireatlradio.com.
The team at Vincent Financial Group want to help preserve your assets while building retirement income that lasts as long as you do. Call today for your complimentary retirement roadmap, 770-280-1488. And you can always get more at retireatlradio.com and join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour is brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. And our top story, actually updating a pair of stories we've been following this morning. First to Dallas, Texas, where the person who opened fire at an ICE facility is said to be dead this morning from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This morning's attack left at least 3 people critically wounded at the facility. The acting ICE director says it's still too early, though, to know if the victims are workers, detainees, or civilians. We'll have much more on this story as we head through the day and as we get more information. Meanwhile, Cobb County police confirm a 9-month-old baby shot at a motel near Truist Park has died and happened at a Budgetel Inn and Suites along Circle 75 Parkway. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, they have not given any information about any suspects in the case. The shooting happened around 8 o'clock last night. That investigation continues as well. It is currently 75 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says the rain rolls in this afternoon and into the evening. That drought about to be gone, or at least hopefully around Metro Atlanta. After the clouds gather this morning, the high will get back up near 90 degrees today. Could see some thunderstorms tomorrow. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. A century-old building in Atlanta's Sweet Auburn neighborhood that houses at-risk individuals It's about to get a big facelift.
The historic O'Hearn House serves 76 previously homeless people, mainly with mental health and addiction issues. And it sits blocks from the encampment where Cornelius Taylor was accidentally killed by city workers in January.
In the immediate area where that unfortunate circumstance happened, we've housed about 19 individuals that were previously living at that encampment.
Scott Walker says a $5.4 million grant from the state will fund an overhaul of the facility to upgrade its housing, kitchen, and support staff spaces. Work begins this week and will last about 10 months. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Well, as weight loss drugs like Ozempic become more popular, microdosing of the medications has become more popular as well. Medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder explains why it's becoming a popular option for many.
It's a combination of things. It's cost and side effects. So in fact, some estimates are as many as half to 3/4 of people who start these medications actually stop them within a year.
She says many people just can't tolerate those side effects for long. They include nausea and constipation. She admits there is still no concrete scientific evidence, though, if microdosing these drugs is actually effective. And it may not be a mystery movie, but its production sure is. Film crews hit downtown Lawrenceville starting today, although the city's being very hush-hush about what's going to be shot there.
There will be a couple big-name stars, but I can't give out any of that information.
Lawrenceville Director of Marketing Elena Tullis says filming will be today through Saturday night, leading to temporary closures on sidewalks, parking lots, and alleyways there in Lawrenceville. Police will be on site as well for the safety of both the public and the crew during that filming. It is 9:33 as we check your money. A positive start on Wall Street. The Dow opens up about 150 points right now. S&P is up slightly. NASDAQ is up more than 30 points so far. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. And we start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center in Ashley Frasca.
Hey, Judd, still pretty rough trying to head up through the city on the downtown connector 7585 northbound, moving at a crawl from Langford Parkway 166 to a crash, still blocking the HOV lane before 10th Street. 85 south, pretty crowded down from Brookhaven and Claremont Road. You got delays through the work zone. I-20 eastbound passing Panola Road, and a crash in part of the intersection Buford Drive. Highway 20 at Satellite Boulevard. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Increasing cloud cover through lunchtime, scattered rain showers for the ride home this evening. Today's high is 90, lows tonight in the low 70s. More scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder for tomorrow, high 79, drying out on Friday.
71 degrees right now in Ball Ground, 74 in McDonough, already 77 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
WSB is your home of the dog.
Lobs it up, caught by Humphrey.
Tune in Saturday as number 5 Georgia faces off with the 17th ranked Crimson Tide.
30, 20, far sideline, 10.
Bulldogs pregame begins at 3:30.
Sideline.
Kickoff at 7:30.
Pylon.
Only on your home of the dogs, 95.5 WSB.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Brought to you in part by Hoffman Financial Group, official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs.
It was exuberant. People were very happy to be there. They were happy that the decision was made to restore him to the air.
That's Grant Kidner. He was an audience member as Jimmy Kimmel returned to the airwaves last night. What Kimmel had to say and what President Trump had to say. 2 minutes away on the Mark Arum Show.
Do you have mystery stains on your carpet? Call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, clean more, save more, and save up to $30. Mention WSB to secure this deal today. Schedule online at ZerorezAtlanta.com. Zerorez, it's the right way to clean.
Allow me to brag for a second. Over the weekend, I defeated not one, but two of my bosses in fantasy football. Sorry, Ken. Sorry, Chris. Now, I'm sure they're football aficionados, but you can't consider yourself to be a football aficionado unless your home is equipped with Xfinity. That's what I have at my house, and it really enhances your fandom. If you call yourself a football fan, you got to have Xfinity. I've got all the best games all in one place, plus enhanced 4K, so it feels like I am actually in the stadium. And don't get me started with the Xfinity Sports app. In-game stats, highlights, analysis. If you are a true football fan, you make sure you up your game from my friends at Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com or drop into Xfinity store today where the Wi-Fi is booming. Some restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Online at Xfinity.com.
Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate, right here on 95.5 WSB. If you listen to my show each Saturday, we cover Atlanta's housing market and all things real estate related. So, whether you're buying your dream home or selling your current one, hiring the right agent is essential. The Agency Atlanta is the iconic brokerage that is revolutionizing real estate worldwide. We pair global resources with decades of hyper-local Atlanta market expertise to deliver results. If you're selling your home, we'll help you showcase your property and maximize your return. If you're buying, we'll guide you through every step to secure the perfect home for your lifestyle. Either way, we would love to earn the privilege of being your agent. So, if you're looking for that perfect Buckhead bungalow, that Alpharetta estate, an in-town condo, or suburban bliss, visit InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com today to connect with us at the Agency Atlanta. That's InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com.
Disorderly mobs have deliberately prevented the carrying out of proper orders from a federal court. Local authorities have not eliminated that violent opposition.
68 years ago today, heard on WSB Radio, President Eisenhower mobilized the Arkansas National Guard, ordered it to ensure the integration of public schools in Little Rock, Arkansas. That was 68 years ago today on WSB. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Coming up after the news at 10, I am going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 just for listening to WSB. And Deborah, you've got an amazing prize pack to give away in the 11 o'clock hour.
But we're giving out more tickets to see Andrea Bocelli at Gas South Arena.
I told Maya we were giving those away. She's like, yes, I want to go. So Maya, at 11:37, you can call in and we'll give away the tickets to Andrea Bocelli. Tickets were hard to come by yesterday as Jimmy Kimmel made his return to the, what's the name of the show? Late Night with Kim? I don't even know the name of the show. But Jimmy Kimmel Live, that's it. It returned to the airwaves last night after being suspended by Disney and ABC following comments Kimmel made about the political ideology of suspected Charlie Kirk shooter. ABC's Dave Packer has more.
A more than minute-long standing ovation as Jimmy Kimmel returned from his suspension. Kimmel becoming emotional.
You understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
And saying he's thankful not only for support from his fans, but also conservatives who supported his right to say things they don't necessarily agree with.
This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
Yeah, Kimmel went on to talk about a lot of, he mentioned support. I don't know if you watched it, Deborah, or not, or if you listened to it. I was in bed way earlier than that. But I heard some audio. He thanked his fellow late-night hosts for having his back, et cetera, et cetera.
The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
He came out and he teared up, talking about the Kirk assassination, but he definitely had strong words for President Trump. What was President Trump's reaction to the Kimmel return? Kevin Liptak outside the White House this morning.
Yeah, and the timing, I think, was pretty notable here. The president waited more than a day to weigh in on Disney's decision to bring Kimmel back, which was kind of a conspicuous silence. He waited until an hour before this show aired, essentially trying to preempt whatever Kimmel was going to say. And the president's message was one both of disbelief, but also intimidation. And just to take it piece by piece, the president saying the White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. So the president saying there for the first time that the White House was somehow involved in these discussions about ABC and suggesting that they were told something completely different from what Disney was saying publicly, which was that this was a suspension. Now, the president goes on to write, he is yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC on this. Let's see how we do, and then pointing to the $16 million settlement that he received from ABC in their defamation lawsuit last year. And so it is this threat of action that's so striking here. He's not exactly explicit about what that would entail, whether this is legal action or some kind of punishment by the government, whether through the FEC for some kind of campaign violations or through the FCC. And remember, the president said just last week that networks that are overwhelmingly critical of him might have their broadcast license pulled. Either way, the president does seem out on a limb here. Remember, some of his own supporters have said he's gone too far, whether it's Ted Cruz, who said that he was being reminiscent of a mafioso. Joe Rogan, the podcaster, yesterday saying that the government should not be involved in dictating what a comedian can and cannot say. Even the president's own defenders last week were trying to say that this was essentially just a business decision and that the government wasn't involved at all. Now, that argument never really held a lot of weight because you heard the FCC chair threatening ABC beforehand, but now the president sort of completely pulling the rug out of that argument altogether.
Yeah, with a post on Truth Social, I guess an hour before Kimmel returned to the stage. So he returned, but he didn't return everywhere. Some of the major television station owners, not ABC or Disney, right? They are the network. But the Sinclair group of television stations, there was one other, I forget their name. It wasn't available in all markets. Like my brother lives in Seattle. Seattle, it wasn't available. I think Pensacola, Florida, you couldn't watch Kimmel, but a lot of folks went to YouTube, and this was a huge backlash, a lot of cancellations of Disney Plus where people were upset. But Kimmel is back. Now, don't forget, his contract ends at the end of the year. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if ABC is going to want to sign him. I don't know if he's going to want to sign. Something worth following. But it was a suspension. He's back. President Trump, none too happy. Let me play one more piece of audio from Kimmel yesterday.
I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
Sincere, choking up, crocodile tears. I will let you be the judge. If Kimmel does not re-sign his contract, Deborah, I'm sure he's enough money. He's not going to be living in an RV anytime soon. But apparently, a lot of Americans forced out of the home ownership market because of high interest rates and high property rates are now switching to mobile homes, RVs. It's going up in popularity.
They're saying about 486,000 or 100,000 people live in an RV full time. And this isn't van life, that you saw during the pandemic. And it's not even retirees kind of exploring the country. These are families with lower wages, and they cannot afford to live in a home. Some of them lost their home. A lot of this points to things like lower wages. Unemployment's been going up. Of course, inflation is hurting everywhere. So food, gas, utilities are more expensive. And it's really the only viable option they have is to buy this RV. Some are able to find you can buy a spot in an RV park.
Yeah.
And others kind of have to keep moving. And there are some places that will let you park for a couple of days or a couple of weeks at a time. But then they don't have access to things like hooking up water or other utilities there. So it just seems to be more people are looking at van life quite differently.
Yeah, I wonder what you do if you have children, right? School-age children, and you're forced to live in an RV and you are truly mobile, right? Do you register whatever, RV park that you happen to be parked in at the beginning of the school year? And that's
So
tough.
the story here says that the two families that kind of were sharing their stories say they have to commute several hours for their kids to stay in the same school so they don't have to switch schools.
Man, I always dreamed of the RV life, not out of necessity, but in retirement. But I don't. I have too much stuff. I'm too much of a hoarder now. I would have to have an RV 500 feet long and 400 feet wide with
for the baseball
with
cards.
all my junk. Yeah. But interesting. Yeah, that's sad that people have to do that. All right, thank you, Deborah. Reminder, 5K Day bonus blitz coming up after the 10 o'clock news. I'm going to give you a keyword, chance for you to win $1,000 here on WSB. Following breaking news, a shooting at the Dallas ICE facility. We'll get the latest on that. When we come back, though, actor Tony Goldwyn is going to join us. You might remember him from Ghost, Law & Order, Last Samurai. Very excited to talk to Tony Goldwyn after We check the Wednesday morning commute live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. It's Ashley Fresca.
It feels like folks are camping out on the downtown connector. It's taken a while to travel 75-85 north up from 166 Langford Parkway. Crash working for a long time now in the HOV lane before 10th Street. Construction crews are slowly rolling in that left lane, 285 northbound past La Vista Road. You'll see some delays there. And construction in the right lane, 75 north at Chastain. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Join us early tomorrow for Atlanta's Morning News from 5 to 9 a.m. We'll have in-depth team coverage of weather and traffic and what could be a wet commute. And like Clark Howard says, customer no service is just going to get worse on 95.5 WSB.
When it comes to your home, quality is crucial. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. Quality comes first. We have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
My name is Maria. Okay, I lied, it's Mary. But I'm feeling more European after my European-style holiday on MSC Cruises. The restaurants, nightlife and shops in La Galleria. And of course, American touches, like a sports bar and water slides. Bellissimo. Okay, this is a problem.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Your neighbors can't believe how high up you hung your giant spider webs for Halloween. Sadly, those aren't decorations. You've got Joro spiders. You better get Breda. Mark Aram here for Breda Pest Management. If you've noticed even one of these huge black and yellow spiders on massive webs, yep, that's the Joro spider, and they multiply quickly, laying hundreds of eggs at a time. So if you see one, you better run, because it won't be long before you're overrun with massive webs. Just knocking down that web does not solve your problem. You need Breda to locate and destroy the spidey source. No matter the season, Breda has your back, protecting the inside and outside of your home. And Breda is proud to still be your friendly neighborhood family-owned company. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like spiders. Oh, those Jora spiders. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But what if you could get both? Why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is Medi-Share. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with Medi-Share, and that's huge, but it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. And we know this from research of members. There's a lot they like about Medi-Share, but especially they love being part of something they believe in. And Medi-Share works, too. It has for more than 30 years. There are hundreds of thousands of members who love having telehealth if they need it. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you could save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or you're part of the gig economy or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
9:50 on the Mark Arum Show. Followed a couple of big breaking news stories. We're going to go live to the UN at 11:35, recapping President Trump's speech yesterday. Right after the news at 11, we're going to go to L.A., check in with Craig Fergner from CBS KNX on the return of Jimmy Kimmel. I'm assuming our next guest has been on all of the late night shows. Joining us on the Mark Arum Show, legendary actor Tony Goldwyn. Tony, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You've been on all of the late night shows, right? Probably all the way back before Letterman.
Yeah, I've been on pretty much every. The only one I never did was the Letterman. I wish I had. It was that was a one I just kind of missed that one when I was coming up.
Yeah, let's talk about coming up because correct me if I'm wrong, but you burst onto the scene bigly in 1990 with the movie Ghost. Was that your like, oh, I've made it kind of role?
Yeah, that was a big deal. I'd been working sort of 5 or 6 years doing whatever job I could get as an actor, and then got lucky enough to get cast in one of the main roles in Ghost, and that movie was a huge hit. So that kind of put me on the map.
Yeah. I mean, it's 1990, so there are no spoilers here. But you were not a good dude.
Right.
You did not play a good dude in that movie.
No, I did not. I was a very morally compromised young man.
Did that impact you psychologically, knowing like you were at the time probably the most hated character in America? Once that movie, was such a huge success, did you catch side eyes when you were walking down the street from people going, "Oh, that's that jerk from Ghost"?
Oh yeah, for sure. Before that, I was dying to play a part like that because I was kind of I was sort of an all-American type kid, and I didn't want to be sort of trapped playing like just the kind of bland hero roles, when I was in my 20s, and then I got that part. I was so excited to play a villain, but I was rather shocked when the movie came out and people kind of hissed me as I walked past or were rude to me in restaurants or.
Were you single at the time, or were you married back then in 1990? Were you single?
No, I was married. Yeah, in fact,
okay.
I was married. I met Jane when I was 21 years old. It was my very first job working in a theater, and she was my wife's a great production designer. She designed scenery for movies, and she actually was the production designer on Ghost. Her career had already blown up well before mine, and so coincidentally, she had already been hired to design that film when I got cast. So we got to work together. It was magical. I mean, in fact, that's where we were able to have our first child.
Aww. I feel better that you were married then, because if you were single and that movie came out, it would have been really tough to get a date as the evil dude from Ghost. Like, women would have just been like, no way. I know who you are. Tony Goldwyn here joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Speaking of your wife, you have a couple of beautiful children, and you are now doing a podcast with your daughter, Anna. Tell us about it.
Yes, my daughter Anna, who actually was conceived on the movie Ghost. Anna is a young screenwriter and television writer, so we work in the same business. And we thought that is a very special part of our relationship. And I am the third generation of my family working in showbiz. And so we thought it would be really interesting to talk to other parents and children who work in the same industry and how that impacts their relationship. So we both the good and the bad, and we've sat down. The first episode started 2 weeks ago, and it was just me and Anna interviewing each other. Last week we had Jane Fonda and her son Troy Garrity, who's a wonderful actor, on the show. And this week, just yesterday, we had Bill Lawrence and Charlotte Lawrence. Bill is one of the great television comedy writers. He created Scrubs, and Ted Lasso, and Shrinking, and Bad Monkey, which is on now. And he's a great guy. And his daughter Charlotte is both an actress and a very successful singer-songwriter in the music business. And so we had a wonderful conversation with them. We'll be talking to coming up is Coach Vic Schaefer, who is the head coach for the women's basketball team at the University of Texas, and his daughter Blair is his assistant coach and was a star player for him when he coached at Mississippi State, and I believe they won a national championship. So that's a really cool conversation, and we just kind of look at it from all different sides, and we're just having a blast, because it's a really, you hear a lot about the kind of Nepo conversation, which is pretty negative these days, and we were like, it's a pretty beautiful part. I feel really lucky. It has its challenges for sure.
So it's called Far From the Tree.
It's really cool to,
So the podcast is Far From the Tree for the listeners. And so I'm assuming, Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but you're saying it can, and it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone's different, and everyone has the commonalities. It's always kind of a challenge early on, and every single person we've talked to has found these beautiful kind of contours to their relationship and something very special. And you just get, for us, it's like to get a different lens. The families are fascinating, and to get a lens into another parent-child relationship, like whatever business they're in, is just really cool. So they're fun conversations. So yeah, Far From the Train, you can get it wherever you listen to your podcast.
All right, since you opened the door telling us about where your daughter was conceived on the set of Ghost, was the conception in a recreation of the clay molding scene between you and your wife?
No, not literally on the set of Ghost. I want to be clear.
Okay.
That would have been bad. The designer and one of the lead actors was misbehaving on the set. No.
All right, Tony, I'm such a huge fan.
I'm not going to give you any details.
Love your work for so many years. Pelican Brief, Last Samurai, Oppenheimer, Law and Order now. Phenomenal career, and I look forward to the podcast Far From the Tree. Tony and his daughter, Anna. Tony, a pleasure to have you on. Best of luck, my friend.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
There you go. Tony Goldwyn. That would have been an interesting story. Yeah, Anna was conceived on set. We they had the clay molding scene. We all remember that scene, right?
Well, they wanted to block it out, right?
Yeah. He's had an amazing career. Good stuff there. All right, we're following this breaking news out of Dallas, a shooting at an ICE facility there. More on President Trump's reversal on what Ukraine can now do when it comes to the territory that Russia has taken over. And when we come back after news, weather, and traffic, just a little after that, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Chance to win $1,000 here on WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Another accident? What happened? Our truck driver got cut off, and they're getting blamed. No witnesses, no proof, and insurance is skyrocketing.
Wait, our drivers shouldn't take the blame for this?
Exactly why we need Samsara. Their AI dashcam show real-time video proving when our drivers aren't at fault.
So we protect our drivers and avoid false claims?
Yep. Companies using Samsara have exonerated their drivers and saved millions on insurance.
Protect your drivers and your bottom line at Samsara.com. Samsara. Operate smarter.
That nagging joint pain, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that just never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Mark Airman. QC Kinetics is here to flip that script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term, lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRIs, your x-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation, it's free, friends, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville. Appointments available on Saturday. 770-285-8026.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We do have breaking news this morning. Multiple people have been shot at an immigration facility in Dallas.
CBS News special report. 3 people have been shot at an ICE detention facility in Dallas. Police there just confirming 1 victim is dead at the scene. The agency's acting director, Todd Lyons, on CNN.
You know, it could be employees, it could be civilians that were visiting the facility, it could be detainees. At this point, we're still working through that. We do know that 3 have definitely been shot. They're en route to the hospital right now.
Again, 1 dead. Lyons says the shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. CBS News Texas reporter J.D. Miles is at the scene.
This is an office where a lot of activity based on these mass deportations that have taken place over the last 8 months there's a lot of coming and going.
Secretary Noem says the motive for the shootings remains unclear. Again, at least one person dead. CBS News Special Report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Your weather for today, partly cloudy through the afternoon hours. Highs around 90, and then scattered rain showers and storms through the afternoon drive and evening drive home. So check back for updates on that. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. Update on a shooting we were telling you about this morning on Atlanta's Morning News. It was at the Budgetel Inn located at 4900 Circle 75 Parkway near Truist Park. We have now gotten word this morning it was a 9-month-old who was shot and killed. Police were called to that motel last night just after 8. A mother telling police her 9-month-old daughter had been hit by a bullet. The little girl was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are asking anybody with information to give them a call. Autopsy photos prompt tears at the Fulton County trial of an accused gang member accused of murdering an 8-year-old Jeep passenger in southwest Atlanta on July 4th, 2020.
As Fulton County Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Karen Sullivan detailed the deadly path of a .556 bullet.
These are the projectile fragments that were recovered from Secoria's body.
It wasn't only Secoria Turner's mother or some jurors who cried. It was defendant Juliet Conley, too.
It passed through the right side of her back, the right scapula, which is the shoulder blade, the back of the right 5th and 6th ribs.
The defense contends the bullet trajectory means Secoria's shooter was crouching behind the SUV, not on the driver's side, where prosecutors say Conley was standing. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
A century-old building in the Sweet Auburn district that houses at-risk individuals, it's about to get a big facelift.
The historic O'Hearn House serves 76 previously homeless people, mainly with mental health and addiction issues. And it sits blocks from the encampment where Cornelius Taylor was accidentally killed by city workers in January.
In the immediate area where that unfortunate circumstance happened, we've housed about 19 individuals that were previously living at that encampment.
Scott Walker says a $5.4 million grant from the state will fund an overhaul of the facility to upgrade its housing, kitchen, and support staff spaces. Work begins this week and will last about 10 months. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Update this morning on a story we told you about in July. Johns Creek Mayor John Bradbury officially requesting the city get its own zip code.
Johns Creek is divided up into, basically 5 different cities have zip codes in Johns Creek, and none of those say Johns Creek.
The plan was to get a unique zip code, but that appeared to be a huge hurdle. So instead, the city decided to ask for the Zip +4 change, and that was approved. So starting in October or November, all city residents and businesses in Johns Creek can list Johns Creek on their addresses by adding 4 extra numbers to their current zip code. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 36 at 46,329. NASDAQ is down slightly, and so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Prask is in the 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Good morning. I bring some better news in Midtown Atlanta. It looks like they're wrapping up that crash. Lanes opening back up on the connector northbound before 10th Street. But the bad news, you are still very heavy on the brakes beginning before University Avenue. Slow through the construction zone up to KSU. 75 northbound. Barrels are out in the right lane at Chastain, and at times rolling road crews working in the left lane. 285 northbound up from La Vista. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy through lunchtime, then scattered rain showers and thunderstorms rolling in this evening. Today's high is 90, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder, high 79. Drying out by Friday with highs in the upper 70s.
It is 78 degrees in Sandy Springs and Vining. Chamblee has 79 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Wednesday morning to you. Mark Aram here. You there? Malva Klimt. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on WSB. Core 4 with us today. Deborah, executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, political analyst Stephen Lawson is going to join us live in studio. We're going to check in with Bloomberg News this half hour, or this hour, I should say, about that big Tylenol pregnancy story. I was off yesterday, Deborah. Did Shelley get a chance to talk about that? Acetaminophen.
Kind of in Shelley's own way. We'll just say that.
All right. But again, thanks to Shelley for filling in for me as I took off yesterday for Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. I dipped apples in honey in your honor, Deborah, Longoria, and Vinny. 11:35, we're going to go live to the United Nations in New York. Correspondent Pamela Falk, President Trump making big headlines there yesterday. And in about 6 minutes, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000. Where's the bell? Oh, here it is. There you go. $1,000, 5K Day Bonus Blitz. I do want to go to, we're following breaking news, by the way. One person killed, 2 wounded at a shooting in an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. Apparently the gunman killed him or herself. I don't know about genders on the shooter, but if we get more information on that, we will bring it to you. I want to go to Florida, though. Joining us from ABC News, our buddy Peter Haralambous. Peter, good morning. We've been following the Robert Ruth case yesterday. Chaotic scene in the courtroom before or after the verdict was read. You were in the courthouse. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so after just 2 hours of deliberations, this jury convicted Ryan Ruth on all counts, and really just moments after the jury finished reading their verdict, with the jury leaving the courtroom, Ryan Ruth took a pen from his counsel table and repeatedly tried to stab himself in the neck. He was immediately surrounded by U.S. Marshals who dragged him out of the courtroom. This was all happening as his daughter, who was seated in the courtroom, was shouting at her father, pleading with him not to hurt himself, and then criticizing the judge and the prosecutors for what she called a rigged case. She was pulled out of the courtroom as well in this really chaotic scene. Eventually, though, Judge Eileen Cannon brought Ruth back into the courtroom. This time he was in shackles. He was not injured. The pen itself is a pen designed for prisoners that doesn't actually allow you to shank anyone or use it as a weapon. So he was bruised but uninjured. And after he returned back to the courtroom, he was told that he'd be sentenced in December.
And aside from the chaos there of him trying to stab himself in his neck, did he offer any verbal response to the guilty verdict?
You know, he didn't say much at that point. I mean, he was surprisingly low energy over the course of the entire day. This is someone who's been representing himself for the entire trial. He's been kind of enthusiastic at times, especially with these cross-examinations of some of the government witnesses. But, you know, he was noticeably down throughout the day. His voice was lower. It seemed like he was exhausted, or on one hand, realizing that perhaps he was at the end of the road. And he delivered his own hour-long closing argument where he really tried to convince the jury not to convict him, but clearly the jury kind of handily rejected his argument after less than just 2 hours.
Yeah, really quick deliberation there. Peter Haralambous from ABC in Florida joining us on the Mark Arum Show. So Ruth will now be back in court in December for sentencing. What's the possible sentence he could be facing here?
Yeah, so the max penalty is life in prison. And I think it's important context. Ruth is 59 years old, so, you know, any sentence over 20 to 30 years is effectively a life sentence for him. And Judge Eileen Cannon, of course, has a lot to think about when it comes time for sentencing. At this point, you know, she has seen his antics throughout the entire trial. She has kind of assessed his character at times. And she's also thinking about this in the context of the victim here, President Donald Trump. She is someone who was appointed by Trump, someone who dismissed Trump's classified documents case, and who acknowledges that, you know, the impact of this alleged assassination, had it actually been successful, would have been catastrophic. It would have, you know, not only taken a human life, but also thrown American democracy into disarray by killing the leading presidential candidate. So she really seems to understand the stakes of this, and we'll see how severe she decides to make the penalty come December.
Final question for you, Peter. You mentioned Ruth represented himself at trial despite warnings from Judge Eileen Cannon. The fact that he didn't have proper representation, is that a possible avenue for appeal, or is that off the table?
So I think it's fair to say that if he does appeal, I'm sure that will come up somewhere in terms of, you know, something that he could argue is part of the reason why the case should be reversed. But Judge Cannon kind of went through a really thorough series of steps to make sure that he could represent himself, including kind of making him undergo a psychological test, going through a round of hearings, really following the procedure by the book to make sure that him representing himself could not be a kind of a reversible error. She also gave him a relatively long leash. For example, she let him deliver about a 55-minute closing argument yesterday, despite it really becoming irrelevant at times. So, on one hand, he'll probably mention this in his appeal, assuming he does appeal. But in terms of the likelihood of success, because Judge Cannon went by the book, it seems relatively low.
Peter Harlambous, ABC News. Peter, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Thanks so much, Mark. I hope you have a nice day.
I got to give credit to Deborah, to the sheriffs down there in Florida. So Ruth, the guy that is now convicted of the assassination, he didn't really attempt. Like, there was no shots fired, but remember, he was found outside the fence line at the golf club, and he was plotting to assassinate. So he got convicted of plotting to assassinate President Trump. No shots were fired, thankfully, or anything like that. So he's defending himself. And after the verdict was read that he was guilty, after just a 2-hour deliberation, he took a pen, because he was representing himself, I would assume he's provided with pen and paper, and started stabbing himself in the neck. Like, this guy's absolutely off the wall. But the sheriff's department they're so smart. The pen that they had is specially designed not to be used as a weapon. So it only left, like, hickeys on his neck. Like, he was stabbed, but, like, good for them. The sheriff's like, this guy's bat blank crazy. Let's give him one of those, like the round scissors.
Safety pen.
Yeah. So, like, that's it. It's like, anyway, kudos to the sheriff's department there. But relatedly, so this is now convicted, boom, bum. He's probably going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Good for that. But the Butler, Pennsylvania, like, that was the actual assassination attempt. And I know the shooter's dead, but have we stopped getting information? I haven't heard anything from the investigation on that.
Yeah, we haven't.
Right? It's been a total data void. You think Kash Patel would want to, now that he's the FBI director, be like, hey, all right, this is the deal. This is what's... But we haven't heard boo from anyone on that. That was the scariest moment in our lives, probably, politically. Post-Kennedy and RFK and MLK, those the 60s assassinations. In my lifetime, it was, President Reagan got shot. Thankfully, he survived. But, man, 1 inch one way or another, and there is no more Donald Trump. And we haven't heard anything on that case. I'd like to hear more. Kash Patel, I know you listen to the podcast. Let's get more information on what happened in Butler. All right, let's give more information on how you can win $1,000 right now. $5K a day bonus splits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chances to win $1,000 today on WSB Radio. Your 10 a.m. keyword is GAME. GAME, game. Enter the keyword GAME into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is GAME. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. It could be us telling you you won $1,000. Keyword is GAME. GAME. Good luck. All right, political analyst Stephen Lawson in studio at 10:35. We're going live to L.A. after the 11 o'clock news, getting the latest on Jimmy Kimmel's return and President Trump's reaction to that. 11:35, we're going to the UN live. Pamela Falk has been reporting on the UN for decades. She will join us live at 11:35. And Deborah, you have a pair of tickets to give away right after the news at 11:35. The incomparable...
Andrea Bocelli.
Andrea Bocelli. I deleted the cut from Andrea Bocelli's birthday. Maybe I'll have to dig that up and play it. All right, this is a story that I'm an even-keeled guy, right, Deborah? Have you ever seen me lose my cool in all the years we've worked together?
No, I've seen you get a little frustrated, but never lose your cool.
Yeah. Longo, have you ever seen me just blow a gasket?
Nah, not really. You've given me eyes that you are.
Yeah. I mean, but
you don't know.
But this story enraged me. Now, again, I love all of you, but to be honest, I love dogs more than all of you. I am a dog lover to my core, and anytime Deborah finds a story where dogs are mistreated, my blood boils. This one is just downright awful, Deborah.
Yeah, this is awful, and it actually kind of hits a little close to home because it's kind of how we got our dog. But 3 people were arrested after an armed robbery, which involved a purebred puppy. So there was this ad, they were going to buy a purebred puppy. People went to the house. And, of course, the suspect's intention was to steal the dog the entire time because it was a very expensive purebred puppy. So when they get to the house, they point a gun at the people trying to sell the dog. The husband is trying to de-escalate things. He blocks the driveway so they can't leave. Shots are fired. The car gets rammed. They run off. And as they're doing this, They throw the dog out of the moving vehicle. Now, luckily, police were able to find the puppy. They took it to the vet. It's in recovery. They haven't said how much it was hurt or, what's going to go on there, but they were able to stop the car, find the people. They also found a 5-month-old in the back seat.
Oh my
God. No child seat. And then as they did some more digging, they also found a firearm. Serial number had been filed off, and the vehicle had been reported stolen from another county.
Where did this go down, by the way?
This was in Meriwether County.
I mean, first of all, there's a lot. Adopt, don't shop, right? That's. I know that people they're loyal to whatever breeds, but come on, man. There's enough dogs out there for free. We don't need to have you buying dogs. But we'll forget that for a second. The fact that these bastages not only pulled a gun on these breeders, but then took the puppy and then threw the puppy out of the car, the moving car, all while they have an infant in the car with them. I mean, just under the jail. Under the jail. You got child endangerment, right? You got animal cruelty. You got armed robbery charges. You've got all this stuff. Now, if I were the dog breeder and I got a gun to my face, I'm going to be like, all right, take the dog. Don't hurt my wife. Just get out of here. Give the dog a nice home, please. I don't think I would have. He said he tried to de-escalate it, but then blocked him. At that point, you did it say what kind of breed it was, Deborah?
No, it just says purebred puppy.
Purebred puppy. All right.
But that's actually how we found our dog. We went to the rescue, and we were looking at dogs, and our Chester, our dog, was thrown out of a moving vehicle, and the rescue people would just happen to be doing deliveries, and they saw it all happen, pulled over it, picked him up, and were able to give him surgery and everything, and that's how we found our dog.
Yeah. Soba was found on the street, but I don't know if she was thrown out of a car or what, but she was a former street dog. All right. Again, your keyword in the 10K a day? No, 5K a day. 5K a day bonus blitz is GAME, G-A-M-E, GAME. Pop that into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com. When we get back after a quick break, special musical guest in studio. Very excited to talk to him. And I'm also very excited to get the latest on the traffic right now at 10:17. Live with the latest, here's Ashley Frasca.
And my Mia was a street dog, too, so street dogs are the best. Yes,
that's a big dog in the street.
Mia is a big dog. We do have construction delays. They are continuing, not as bad at times, though, with that road work being done in the left lane, I-20 eastbound past Panola Road, and at times crews are rolling along the left lane up through Tucker, headed 285 northbound past La Vista Road. You want to watch out for that. And barrels out in the right lane near KSU, 75 north at Chastain. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on fall favorites now through September 30th at Whole Foods Market, your headquarters for pumpkin spice delights, all the flavors of fall, and more. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
It's not as bad as it could be.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Hey, the ladies are at home. Let's smoke cigars.
Eric Von Hessler.
Some sort of cultural affirmation. Yes, I am this kind of man.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence.
Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
As you go through your end-of-season to-dos, add Call Castile Cooling and Heating to the checklist. You wouldn't send your kids to school unprepared, so don't send your air conditioner into hibernation without a checkup from our specialists. If you've noticed your system struggling, weird sounds, smells, or changes in airflow, let's fix it now. Right now, install a new HVAC system and get up to $2,000 in free upgrades and 0% interest financing. Book today, and help is on the way. CastileAir.com.
Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate, right here on 95.5 WSB. If you listen to my show each Saturday, we cover Atlanta's housing market and all things real estate related. So, whether you're buying your dream home or selling your current one, hiring the right agent is essential. The Agency Atlanta is the iconic brokerage that is revolutionizing real estate worldwide. We pair global resources with decades of hyper-local Atlanta market expertise to deliver results. If you're selling your home, we'll help you showcase your property and maximize your return. If you're buying, we'll guide you through every step to secure the perfect home for your lifestyle. Either way, we would love to earn the privilege of being your agent. So, if you're looking for that perfect Buckhead bungalow, that Alpharetta estate, an in-town condo, or suburban bliss, visit InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com today to connect with us at the Agency Atlanta. That's InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
That was thousands of miles being added to your private radio network. With Southern Link, connect your private LMR radio system to Critical Link, our mission-critical LTE network, so you can communicate more easily with more people when the situation demands. Call 1-800-818-LINC or visit southernlink.com to learn more about our interworking solutions, mission-critical push-to-talk, and LTE voice and data services. Southern Link, pushing the limits of what's possible.
61 years ago today, the Munsters premiered on CBS. I don't know, that might be the perfect song for a TV show. The Munsters love that. Have you ever thought about creating the perfect song? Well, we've got a venue and an outlet for you on October 8th. Porter Sanford in DeKalb County joining us live in studio. Legendary music producer Nitty Beats. Nitty, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning, man. Great to be here.
I love this event. I mean, I'm obviously a big fan of the music you've created over the years, but this is personal for me. You've got an event October 8th where you're going to help would-be musicians and music producers create the perfect song. I'm looking at the official music producer of the Mark Arum Show, Vinny Drip, sitting here in studio. That's your target audience for this event.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. We're going to have, this is going to be an event for anybody that wants to get into the music industry, how to make that big record. As a producer, people come to me all the time and say, hey, man, how can I make my next hit record? So we want to teach these people how to do it. We're going to show them how to, who to interact with, songwriters, producers, entertainment attorneys, anybody, engineers, you know what I mean? So we got some big people, that big names that are coming in, man. So we're going to surprise a lot of people, man. But October the 8th is going to be a event to remember.
Guaranteed. Yeah, no doubt. And I wrote one song in college. I'm certainly not going to say I'm an aspiring musician or producer.
Really? Can I hear
it? You know what? If I find the cassette tape, that's how old it was. I'll play it for you.
Okay.
But you know, that's 1991. I wrote that song. The music business in 2025 is completely different. What are some of the things people need to know if they're trying to get into the music business in this era?
Yeah, I mean, just understand that it's a digital world now. It's the world of AI. And just know that, it's so many different ways to distribute music now. Music is actually generating more money every year. It's generating more billions every year, man. So
with streaming and everything.
With streaming.
Yeah.
So the streaming is like a big thing. Like I have a record that we put out last year with an artist named Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion called Wannabe. We had about close to 300 million streams right now. You know what I mean? So the streaming never stops, man, all the way to television, on your computers and stuff, man. So streaming is the key.
Now, I would assume part of this event, creating the perfect song, might touch on what I'm going to bring up right now. Is back in my days of the early '90s, mid '90s hip hop, artists would just sample whatever. Like, oh, let's pull this. I mean, legally now, people have to be careful. Vinny, you have to be careful sampling stuff for our show. Is that something that's going to be talked about, how to get those samples done?
Yeah. We're going to talk about the sample clearance because the main thing, we don't want people to get, these new producers to get discouraged when they make a big hit and they sample the old Michael Jackson record, and then the state of Michael Jackson comes back and takes all the profits.
You're all done.
Yeah. I think we've seen that happen with Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams with Marvin Gaye's estate. So we don't want that to keep ever happen again.
All right, aspiring music producers, including, you'll see Vinny there. I know Vinny's going to be jumping in.
You coming, Vinny?
I'm be there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll pay for you because I need you to produce music for us. October 8th, Eventbrite, creating the perfect song. Nitty, social media, where can we find you?
Nitty Beats, NITTIBEATZ on Instagram. And I pretty much post every day on there. I'm going to entertain you on there.
Good to see you, my friend.
I appreciate it, Mark.
All right, buddy. We'll be right back after news, weather, and traffic. Big political news here in the state of Georgia. Political analyst Stephen Lawson joins us live. Again, you've got 4 minutes, 5K day bonus blitz. Your 10 a.m. keyword is GAME, G-A-M-E, GAME. Pop that into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/cash. Chance for you to $1,000 minutes away right here on 95.5 WSB.
Is painting the house on your project list? Make this the last time you paint with Rhino Shield, backed by a 25-year warranty.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Don't wear 4 sweatshirts at home this winter because your old furnace isn't up to snuff. Get a brand new one thanks to my pals at Reliable. Hey, it's Mark Arum with you. Check this amazing offer going on right now. Any size furnace, just $59.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. ReliableAir.com, book an appointment or call or text 770-594-9969.
Hey, y'all, it's Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I'm so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. And Four Seasons Home Care was so helpful to my family throughout the process. I get emails from listeners all the time and why I trusted Four Seasons Home Care. They tell me, I don't want just anyone to care for my parents. Well, of course you don't. So here's why I work with Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company. They vet and hire every single one of their caregiving specialists, and they don't farm out the care to contractors, and they're not some national corporation. So here's my advice, folks. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. Do your homework. This is a huge decision. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
That's right, Dale. When the summer is hot, America's best choice will keep your home cool with premium energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. No pressure, no gimmicks. Go to abcwind.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today. America's best choice. Quality you can trust, prices you can afford.
Beaver Direct Certified, providing the highest quality vehicles at the very best prices. Every vehicle undergoes rigorous reconditioning with an industry-leading 12-month, 12,000-mile certified warranty. Visit us at BeaverToyotaCumming.com and see why everyone loves Beaver Direct.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, presenting a Delta Classical concert featuring Natalie Stutzman, opening the season with music by Copeland and Strauss. October 3rd through 5th at Symphony Hall. Details at ASO.org.
Hey, friends, have you filed an insurance claim for a roof replacement only to be denied? Are you not sure what to do? You're not alone. Dr. Roof here to help. Hey, it's Mark Arum. Dr. Roof specializes in reviewing the storm damage and getting your roof replaced. They've been around for over 37 years and can help you with all of your options. Don't settle for a denied or partial insurance claim. Get the roof you deserve with Dr. Roof, online at drroof.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic,
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. We have an update on a shooting at the Budgetel Inn located in Circle 75 Parkway. That's near Truist Park. We have gotten word this morning a 9-month-old was killed in that shooting. Police called to the motel last night just after 8 o'clock. A mother telling police her 9-month-old daughter had been struck by gunfire. The little girl pronounced dead at the scene. Police are asking anybody with any information to give them a call. Your weather for today, partly cloudy through the afternoon, highs around 90, and scattered rain showers and storms are possible and likely for your afternoon and evening drive home. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. And there is breaking news this morning out of Texas. A mass shooting at a Dallas ICE facility, leaving several people dead and others wounded. Dallas reporter Lacey Beasley on the scene with more.
2 people were transported to the hospital with gunshot wounds, and Dallas police reporting that 1 victim died on scene. That suspect is also deceased, and we are learning that is from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Details about who was targeted in this shooting still being investigated. Happening right now, Ukraine's president is pleading his country's case before the UN General Assembly a day after his meeting with President Trump, who did an about-face and declared Ukraine can win the war with Russia with backing from the European Union. Ukrainian President Zelensky condemning Russia today in his remarks before the General Assembly.
Russia hasn't stopped shelling even in areas near a nuclear facility. Because of international institutions are too weak, this madness continues.
Zelensky appealed for more military aid. New this half hour, the Atlanta Beltline is accepting applications starting today for a new program aimed at helping small businesses.
In order to qualify for a grant, a developer has to agree to dedicate a portion of their commercial space for a small business at below market rent for at least 10 years. The Beltline's Kelvin Collins says,
"We believe it's important to complement housing affordability, commercial affordability, and to ensure that small businesses can exist around the Beltline and deliver the much needed services."
The grants range from $150,000 to $500,000, and there is $2 million in the fund. They hope to have the money distributed by early next year. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
In health news this morning, a new study shows that a pill that helps patients with rheumatoid arthritis may also help those with type 1 diabetes. Researchers say the pill was able to reverse the body's own insulin production in people that were just diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Typically, with type 1, insulin production slows and eventually stops. Researchers say the results mean that more trials should happen now to see if the pill treatment can be sustained for years in a person. And now let's talk about your money. A new Bankrate survey finds more than a third of American workers expect that they'll need at least $1 million to retire comfortably, but only half of them think that they can reach that goal. Bankrate's chief financial analyst Greg McBride saying many baby boomers and Generation Xers wish they'd started saving sooner.
They also have the highest propensity to say that they think they're behind where they should be when it comes to retirement savings.
And he says it's not for a lack of trying. 60% of Americans are contributing the same or more to their retirement accounts than they were a year ago. It's 10:33, and that means it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Slow through some construction zones. It looks like they're taking out a left lane. Crews have been rolling along the left lane of 285 northbound between La Vista and Chamblee Tucker, so sluggish traffic begins back at Memorial Drive, and it's heavy over from Wesley Chapel. Crews in the left lane, I-20 eastbound past Panola Road, and the final work zone we're watching this afternoon up to Kennesaw State University. Barrels in the right lane, 75 north at Chastain. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Increasing cloud cover through lunchtime, scattered rain showers for the ride home this evening. Today's high is 90, lows tonight in the low 70s. More scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder for tomorrow, high 79, drying out on Friday.
It is 79 degrees right now in Loganville and Roswell. Here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 79 degrees. More news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app.
If you have the WSB
all
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
Big, strong words from President Trump yesterday. In an hour, we're going to go live to the UN, get the latest reaction to President Trump's speech. But next, political analyst Stephen Lawson, live in studio, 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
If your basement has any issues like condensation, wet floors and walls, or musty smells, that can be a sign that your home might be due for waterproofing. AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can help. Just visit aquaguard.net and set up a free inspection. Remember, AquaGuard.
Boost your day at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off all packaged coffee with Prime through September 30th. Grab your favorite beans for a delicious morning brew. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Got Joro spiders? Get Breda. Mark Arum here. These nasty black and yellow spiders weave huge webs, multiply quickly, and lay hundreds of eggs at a time. So if you see one, you better run, because it won't be long before you're overrun with massive webs. Just knocking down their webs does not solve your problem. You need Breda. Locate and destroy that spidey source.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. Did you know Superior is probably the #1 installer of water heaters in Atlanta? If your water heater is over 10 years old, time to replace and be surprised on the improvements it will make in giving you plenty of hot water. Superior offers a 10-year warranty.
I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Jimmy Kimmel returning to the airwaves last night. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. In 30 minutes, we're going to go live to L.A., get the very latest on Kimmel's future with ABC. His contract up at the end of the year. Obviously, he was suspended by ABC for a handful of days for comments he made after the Charlie Kirk assassination. Joining us live in studio, political analyst Stephen Lawson, who is always welcome here every Wednesday. Good morning, my friend.
Hey, good morning, Mark.
I don't really need, everyone's been talking about Kimmel, but I want to talk about the Charlie Kirk Memorial because we haven't spoken since that happened on Sunday. To me, the standout moment was Erica Kirk's just, I don't know how she had the courage to do that in front of 63,000+ people in that stadium and overflow stadiums, to have the composure after her husband was executed like that. What did you think of the memorial? And Does Erica Kirk have a future in politics? Because an event like that can usually boost someone into superstardom.
Yeah, what a touching tribute, first of all, to Charlie Kirk and the outpouring of support, Mark. Thousands and thousands of people filling an entire stadium, overflow sections right outside of the stadium. But what struck me is just the incredible amount of grace that she had on that stage to less than a week after your husband was assassinated, the father of your children, to get on the stage and move the audience with such poise, but grace to be able to stand on that stage and say, I forgive his shooter.
Yeah, that was powerful.
And what an important lesson for all of us, right? Like that is the pinnacle of just poise and grace through such a tragedy. That I think that should be an example for all of us, both sides of the political spectrum. Yes, we need to tone down the rhetoric and, of course, violence. We've got to root that out. But just grace and accepting people for who they are and viewing them as human beings, even in the midst of tragedy, was a really striking example.
So Erica's taken over as the CEO of Turning Point, right? Obviously, the grassroots organization that Charlie founded and really became a king-making kind of organization. Turning Point credited for getting J.D. Vance into the Senate, getting J.D. Vance on the ticket, and getting the young vote out for President Trump in the last presidential election. So obviously, it's the Turning Point Foundation, very important politically. But again, I see a moment like that, and I see, a poised, attractive, well-spoken person with obviously deeply held political beliefs. Like that's a political candidate. Am I wrong thinking that Erica Kirk could run for whatever office she wants at this point?
She could, yes, certainly. She has the microphone now.
Yeah.
She has her husband's microphone, and I think obviously she's very led by her faith. That is very important to her. So I think she's going to listen to whatever direction God points her in. But yeah, it could go a number of ways. She could run for office. She could certainly, or I think what is more likely in the short term is that she carries on his work and she bolsters this movement. There's been such an outpouring from across the country of new Turning Point chapters and this momentum, and people are waking up to this moment in our country's history. And I think her legacy could be carrying on that torch and making Turning Point even bigger than Charlie could have ever imagined. And that would be such a touching tribute and a legacy to leave.
Political analyst Stephen Lawson live in studio here in the Mark Arum Show. We didn't get a chance to talk about this last week, but we got some new polling numbers. A couple of massive races here in the state of Georgia. Senate seat, governor seat. Qantas Insights poll, head-to-head, John Ossoff, Mike Collins tied at 38%, 23% undecided. Ossoff against Buddy Carter. Ossoff leads by 3. Ossoff against Dooley heads up 42-35 with 22% undecided. Large chunk of undecided, but it looks like just from this snap poll that Mike Collins is best situated to defeat John Ossoff at the polls.
Yeah, absolutely. We've gotten a little bit of polling in this race. There hasn't been a ton. But yeah, obviously the big takeaway, still lots of undecideds, but I think both in the primary election and now we're seeing in the general election, on the data front, it appears that Mike Collins is best suited to take on John Ossoff next November. It's, as you mentioned, Mark, lots of undecided. It's going to be very interesting to see how that shakes out in the primary ballot. You mentioned the general ballot. Mike Collins is at around 25. Buddy Carter is at 20, and Derek Dooley is at 7 or 8. It's going to be interesting to see, we've talked about on the show, can Derek Dooley buy enough time to kind of build his name ID and get back up there? It obviously got the backing of the governor, which is hugely important. So that's going to be one to watch. But yeah, really interesting to see that Mike Collins is the best suited general election to John Ossoff. It also tells me about John Ossoff that if he's sitting at 38, he's clearly got some work to do on his side, that people in this state are not necessarily sold on what he's selling. He's got some work to do as well, too. So,
I mean, we've got some time, obviously, but just looking at one more poll question was asked, best GOP candidate to defeat Ossoff. This is Republicans voting only. Mike Collins, 25%, Buddy Carter, 20%, Derek Dooley, 7%, 48% unsure. Just anecdotally, I have not heard on my show any ads from Dooley, Carter, or Collins. I've heard some Ossoff attack ads from political action committees, but shouldn't the ball be rolling already, getting their name out and getting the message out?
Yeah, I mean, they are. I think all three of those candidates right now are laser focused on raising money. We've talked about on your show, Mark, the quarterly reporting, fundraising reporting for these federal races. The end of the third quarter is coming up next week on the 30th. Those reports will then be made public the following week. I imagine the White House and lots of folks in D.C. are going to be looking at those very carefully to see which candidates can emerge, break out, raise the money necessary to get on television, to get on radio, and start advertising and getting their name out.
And I haven't, and again, maybe it's just I'm not looking or listening in the right places, but that I'm talking about Senate ads. I haven't heard any or seen any governor's ads yet, either from either side, Democrats or Republicans. Why is everyone sitting on their hands? I mean, obviously they have money raised already. why are they playing prevent defense instead of getting out there and getting the name out?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, right now they are in fundraising mode. We are over a year out from the election, but to your point, Mark, the primaries are coming up in May. I imagine that dynamic will start to shift at the beginning of the year next year, and when we turn the calendar page, I think that's when you're going to start seeing those ads really hitting the airwaves with these advertising blitzes to start to get their name out and build that ID, because as you mentioned, that runway from January to May comes and goes very quickly. And so especially in an age that the media is so fractured, right? Building that name ID and getting out in front of voters on the airwaves is going to be really important.
Stephen, we got bills to pay here, man.
That's right.
We got fourth quarter bonuses to hit. We need those political ads here on the Mark Arum Show.
That's right. Vinny needs a bonus.
Vinny needs a bonus. Finally, I was off yesterday for the Jewish New Year. State Senate special election yesterday. What happened?
Yeah, this is a special election with the resignation of State Senator Brandon Beach to go serve in the Trump administration in the Treasury Department. There was a vacant seat there, and the contest was between a Democrat, Deborah Shigley, and a Republican, Jason Dickerson. It was a runoff election following 4 weeks ago, that's the special election. There were some Democrats that were thinking that this could be their moment. This was a 70-30 Republican seat that Brandon Beach held. But Shigley 4 weeks ago got 40% of the vote. So they were seeing the tea leaves thinking, hey, maybe we can flip this seat.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance, only to find out that came crashing down yesterday with the election results. Jason Dickerson, the Republican, won with 61% to 39% for Shigley. But Democrats can take that potentially as a Pyrrhic victory and that they overperformed in the seat. And I think that could be, if you're a Democrat, indicative, hey, maybe we've got a little momentum heading into the midterms. Obviously, Republicans are controlling every lever of government. Maybe we can make some inroads. But again, a special election is very, very different than a statewide general election next November.
Stephen Lawson always overperforms here on the Mark Arum Show, online at Dentons.com. Stephen, great to see you, my friend.
Great to be here as always,
Have a
my friend.
fantastic week. All right, when we come back, what does Wall Street think about Tylenol being in the news in relation to autism? We're going to check in with Madison Miller from Bloomberg in just a second. First and foremost, though, we got to check the ride around town on this beautiful Wednesday morning. How we doing now, Ashley Frasca?
The only things keeping your ride slow are the work zones. Crews are working in the right lane of 75 North at Chastain Road and already quickly seeing the brake lights build back at Canton Road, Highway 5. And work crews have been rolling in the left lane, and they're kind of stationary now on 285 North between La Vista and Chambly Tucker. Again, left lane blocked there, so that has you on the brakes coming up from Memorial Drive. And one more work zone, I-20 eastbound at Panola Road, crews in the left lane. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news.
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
All right, thank you.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my word!
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
Looking for your next great adventure? At Capital Investment Advisors, we know travel isn't just a vacation. It's a core pursuit that fuels happiness. In fact, research shows happy retirees pursue nearly twice as many adventure-related core pursuits as unhappy retirees. That's why we created 101 trips to take in retirement. A free guide with luxury escapes, wellness retreats, cultural immersions, and trips for the grandkids. Download your copy today at yourwealth.com/101 trips.
Anyone on the roads in North Georgia knows that tractor trailers are everywhere. For my friends in the motorcycle community, a distracted big rig could change your life forever. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Steel Horse Law specializes in motorcycle accidents involving trucks, and they can protect you from big corporations and their armies of lawyers. Steel Horse Law can help you get back on your feet, medical bills paid, back to work, and your case resolved. Schedule your free accident evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
Let me teach you some physics. In a great big wind,
The bigger and flatter the object, the more force the wind creates. Surface area times the square of the hypotenuse times wind speed divided by E equals MC squared, or some kind of math. Doesn't matter. But when storm season hits, your garage door is just standing there waiting for wind and physics to break it or dent it or send the whole thing flying down the street. And that, my friends, is science. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Modern wind-rated doors are built to withstand the forces of nature. Composite materials are stronger than the cheap old aluminum door that came with your house. And the tracks and rollers won't bend under the stress. It keeps your car safe and your insurance premiums low. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're ready. And stay in school, kids.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Belinda here with another satisfied patient with a great story to tell you about Atlanta Vision Institute. Lisa had the laser optics procedure. Why did you choose Atlanta Vision Institute?
Well, I'd been wearing contacts or glasses for the last 50 years and decided one day that I'd had enough. I have an active lifestyle and the glasses just were getting in the way.
Now, after the procedure with Dr. Ashraf at Atlanta Vision Institute, what were the results like?
It was amazing. I could see the highway signs from far away, and I was able to thread the needle on my sewing machine without any help.
Nobody can do that. That's amazing. Folks, if you feel like you're at your wit's end with your vision, why don't you go see Dr. Ashraf at Atlanta Vision Institute? Go to 2020atlanta.com and see if you're a candidate for the laser optics procedure. Go to 2020atlanta.com.
This is Mike Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers.
And this is Jonathan Geller. And Dad, you ever think we're too honest in our commercials?
What do you mean?
Like telling people we've got the best prices in Atlanta.
It all comes down to the best jewelry at the best prices.
Maybe that's why folks have trusted us since 1939.
Exactly.
In Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Cue the jingle.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
Guys, do you look in the mirror and get a little bummed every morning when you wake up and get ready to go for work and be like, oh, my hairline keeps receding and receding, or oh, my bald spot keeps growing and growing, or oh, my goodness, my hair keeps getting thinner and thinner? Stop what you're doing. I'm about to change the dynamics of your dome. Actually, my friends at Advanced Hair are going to change the dynamics on your dome. Hey, it's Mark Arum. Advanced Hair, amazing treatment, helps regrow your hair where it's currently gone. So, receding hairline, they got that covered. Bald spot, they got that covered. Thinning hair, they got that covered as well. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, guaranteed to grow for life. If you want your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you're going to need a free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com, and if you move forward, $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results online, advancedhair.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I don't think since the Tylenol scare of the 80s that the word Tylenol has been said so many times on WSB Radio. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Continue our coverage of President Trump and RFK Jr. and the Tylenol story, covering the health sector for Bloomberg News. Joining us live, Madison Miller. Madison, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me on, Mark. I appreciate it.
Obviously, this is, a shocking story, acetaminophen, a possible link to autism, claims the Trump administration. But on the business side of things, Who's the maker of Tylenol, and what do they think, and what do the markets think about this?
Yeah, so Kenvue is the maker of Tylenol, and they have come out obviously pretty strongly on this, saying that there is no link between autism and their product Tylenol, and they are, going on the offensive right now as expected. But the claims there is no real definitive clear evidence that Tylenol or acetaminophen, as you so clearly pronounced and well pronounced, not many can do that, that there is no real clear link, and that the evidence that's been touted by the Trump administration and by RFK really relies on observational studies only, so sort of looking at data on a large number of people rather than running, well-controlled clinical trials. So the evidence is really mixed. There is no clear link between the two, and it's causing a lot of confusion, I think, for pregnant women. And doctors are saying that they're hearing a lot of questions. They are fielding a lot of concerns about this. So it's caused a little bit of a chaotic situation.
My first reaction when this story popped, Madison, was, why is the Trump administration not just using acetaminophen? Why are they calling out a brand name? That seems ripe for legal action.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think that that's one of the things that we are trying to figure out right now is, what actions can Kenvue take? What are they going to do next? What are the next steps? It is a difficult situation for sure for a company to be in, to be called out. I mean, they haven't actually said the maker of Tylenol's name, but as you pointed out, to actually call out a brand name product is not a great situation to be in, especially as we've seen lots of companies really bend over backwards and go out of their way to appeal to this administration and to get into their good graces, especially in the health sector. And so this is definitely a difficult situation for a company to be in, and it will be interesting to see how they navigate it.
Yeah, just looking at Kenvue Inc. is the stock symbol KVUE. They took a huge dip on Monday, rallied a little bit yesterday, down again today. But I would imagine that the legal team. I thought Tylenol was owned by Johnson & Johnson, to be honest with you. But I thought.
Yeah, well, Kenvue was previously. Kenvue actually was spun out from Johnson & Johnson. So you've got that right.
I'm partially right.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah, but I can imagine the legal teams are in closed door meetings for the last couple of days going, all right, what is our reaction to this claim by the Trump administration? Madison Muller, Bloomberg News. Madison, great stuff. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
There you go. I am not going. Deborah, did you hear? I was off yesterday. I don't know if Shelley played President Trump pronunciation of acetaminophen.
Yes.
Did he play that audio yesterday? Maybe that's why that he was like, listen, I can't pronounce that word. We're just going to say Tylenol. Shelley, by the way, who filled in yesterday, had a salient point on Facebook. What about children's Tylenol? Like, that's a thing, right?
Yes.
If Tylenol causes autism,
we've given it to our kids.
Is that the next thing that they go after is children's Tylenol? All right, good stuff there from Madison Muller, Bloomberg News. All right, when we come back after news, weather, and traffic, the latest on Jimmy Kimmel's return and President Trump's reaction to that. We're going to talk to a reporter from KNX in Los Angeles live next on the Mark Arum Show. Social media is active. I'm going to post that picture, by the way, in my Instagram story of me at Nitty Beats. At Mark Arum, MarkArum.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the portfolio x-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the portfolio x-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. A sniper attack at an immigration facility in Dallas this morning. Jim Ryan has more.
Alongside a busy freeway northwest of downtown Dallas, police say a gunman opened fire on an ICE detention facility. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons says the shots came from about 200 yards away.
It's a secure location, but it's not covered. And that's where I think the shots came in, from an elevated position down into the location.
3 people were shot, none of them ICE agents. As police were closing in on the gunman, Lyons says he took his own life.
All right, your weather for today, partly cloudy through the afternoon. Highs around 90. Scattered rain showers and storms for your afternoon and evening ride home, though, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cobb police investigating this morning after a 9-month-old is shot and killed at a motel near Truist Park. Police were called to that Budgetel Inn located at 4900 Circle 75 Parkway last night around 8 o'clock. A woman saying her baby girl had been struck by gunfire. That little girl was pronounced dead at the scene. Police now asking anybody with information to give them a call. This is new this morning. Georgia is named the #1 state in the nation to do business by Area Development Magazine. This is the 12th year in a row that we have been named tops for business. Governor Kemp saying this morning that it is a reflection of the sustained commitment that we have to excellence and a team approach to economic development. Applications are open now for a new grant program to help small businesses on the Beltline.
Local developers will have a month to apply for their share of the $2 million pilot program, which provides grants to developers willing to rent a portion of their commercial space to a small business for below market rent for at least a 10-year period. The Beltline's Kelvin Collins.
Small businesses are the heart and soul of the city and the heart and soul of the Beltline. And we cannot have a successful Beltline without having a diverse mix of small businesses.
The grants range from $150,000 to $500,000. They hope to have the money distributed by early next year. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
The O'Hearn House is a century-old building in the Sweet Auburn district that once was a shoe factory, but today it serves 76 previously homeless individuals who are dealing with substance abuse and other issues.
We had individuals living there diagnosed with mental illness and were formerly homeless. And we were able to secure a grant from the Governor's Office of Planning and Budget to do a rehab on the building.
And Scott Walker saying the $5.4 million state grant will allow them to upgrade the living spaces as well as offices for support staff and the on-site kitchen. Work gets underway today and will last for about 10 months. An apartment complex in Stone Mountain will house residents until they can return next fall. The Cleveland Clinic this morning highlighting how the risk of getting Alzheimer's disease can be reduced with exercise. Lisa Taylor has more.
September is World Alzheimer's Month, and Dr. Dylan Wint is a neurologist at the Cleveland Clinic and says there's strong evidence showing that those who exercise regularly are less likely to develop cognitive decline. He recommends people do at least 150 minutes of moderate-intensity aerobic activity each week.
And he also says the Mediterranean diet and the MIND diet appear to be effective at preventing cognitive decline. Let's take a look at your money. The Dow right now is in positive territory at 46,327, so it's up slightly. NASDAQ and S&P, though, are in the red. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Just found new trouble in Midtown, 7585 northbound, right around
Eastbound 10th Street looks to be blocking a right center lane, and that ride is stacked up almost back to Langford Parkway. Still got that rolling road work in the left lane in Tucker, 285 northbound, the outer loop approaching Chamblee Tucker Road. And then you have the left lane construction toward Lithonia, 20 eastbound past Panola Road, exit 71. And that's why you're seeing the brake lights to start back near Wesley Chapel Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy through lunchtime, then scattered rain showers and thunderstorms rolling in this evening. Today's high is 90, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder, high 79. Drying out by Friday with highs in the upper 70s.
It's 81 degrees in Gainesville, 84 in Tucker, Powder Springs. You have 82 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:04 on this extremely busy news day, Wednesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from right now, we're going to go live to the United Nations. Reaction from President Trump's speech yesterday and what's going on as the world leaders meet. 1 hour from now, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. Continue our team coverage of the return to the airwaves, some airwaves from Jimmy Kimmel last night.
I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Covering the story live from the City of Angels, KNX radio reporter Craig Figner. Craig, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Hey, good morning to you from Hollywood. Yeah, great to be with you.
I heard from some of the audience members that were there for the Kimmel return to some ABC stations yesterday. How has the return of Kimmel been received generally by the general public?
Well, by the general public, I think we're going to get a real good gauge when the overnight ratings come out. But I've been talking with several people who were in the audience for last night's recording of the show, which was then, of course, later broadcast to most of the nation, except for the Sinclair and Nexstar-owned stations, which are still not broadcasting Jimmy Kimmel live. But, it started on an emotional note. At one point in the monologue, Kimmel became emotional, saying that he did not mean to make light of the murder of a young man. He was choked up. And he said that was never his intention. He did not apologize for the show that got him taken off of the air last week, but he says he understands why people had taken what he had said, in his words, what he had said in the wrong way. And I thought it was interesting. He did make a fairly large point of talking about the markets within which they're not able to see the Jimmy Kimmel show, specifically mentioning the ultra-conservative broadcast ownership group, Sinclair Broadcast Group. They replaced Kimmel with news programming. Nexstar is still holding with their decision not to run Kimmel on their station. So, collectively, that's a little more than 60 ABC affiliates, which aren't owned by the Walt Disney Company, but owned by these separate broadcasters that have licenses to be ABC affiliates.
Yeah, so Sinclair Nexstar, any idea if they will bring Kimmel back, or obviously there's some big broadcast deals with those two companies that own a bunch of ABC stations that need FCC approval. Are they going to hold off bringing Kimmel back, not to throw a wrench in that transaction process?
Yeah, so Sinclair, which has more than 30 ABC affiliates, had put out a statement saying that discussions are ongoing with ABC and the Walt Disney Company on a potential return. And so, that you can read into that what you will. Maybe that's hopeful, or maybe that's just a statement, but won't result in a return. The Nexstar Media Group has slightly a larger interest at stake here because they're trying to acquire another broadcasting company, Tegna, which owns a bunch of stations across the country. And so I think they're trying especially hard to curry favor with the administration, especially given what Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, commissioner rather, had said, about, making this easy or making this hard for, companies that were not going to toe the administration's line and, about their distaste for Kimmel.
Craig, about an hour before Kimmel returned to the airwaves, President Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone." And then later in the post, Kimmel, quote, yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time we went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. So securities, financial, we have the FCC and then the FEC, that President Trump alleging these are illegal campaign contributions made by ABC just for airing Kimmel. Does it sound like we're gonna see some more action in the courts as a result of this?
Well, let me just first say that's one heck of a take on a television show that's using public airwaves to broadcast free speech that's critical to the president, and the president doesn't like it, and as a result is kind of encouraging some sort of punitive action against ABC for bringing the show back. But also what's curious is the word was always that the company ABC, which owns, rather the company Walt Disney Company, which owns ABC, they had always said that this was a temporary removal of the show, or an indefinite suspension, I think was the actual language. There was never the word out there that the show was canceled, period. But the White House seems to think that that's what was going on based on that tweet you read. So that's puzzlement for me there on that. And it seems like it's going to be a tough go to try and claim that somehow this had value, unfairly advantaged the Democrats by bringing Kimmel back to television. But we've seen Trump in the administration and Trump in his former life before politics pursue all kinds of people on claims and engage in litigation.
Final question for you, Craig. I believe Jimmy Kimmel's contract is up at the end of the year.
I think it's got about 8 months or something, yeah.
Yeah, do you see any chance that he re-signs with ABC, or he goes and takes his show that isn't to an outlet that isn't regulated by the FCC, like a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon Prime, one of those outlets?
You have to imagine in today's world, with the diminishing power of local broadcast station groups and their reach to the audience, the continued and enormous shift to streaming, you can envision several possibilities. Yeah, maybe a Netflix, maybe a Hulu, which is owned by Disney. I mean, Disney could avoid all the mess of having to deal with affiliates who disagree with them by just moving Kimmel to Hulu, which they own, and that would help also this shift. It would be another breaking point for the power of broadcast television, which has already been eroded. This would potentially, for Disney, be a moment to really maybe use it to their advantage and shift viewership of Kimmel to Hulu, which they own and over which the FCC doesn't have any regulatory authority.
Craig Figner, KNX, Los Angeles. Craig, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it, my friend.
Good to be with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see, Deborah, what the ratings are. Because, again, he was off of 70 of his ABC affiliates with Sinclair and Nexstar. But where he was on, I would imagine the ratings went up. I should have access to the ratings tomorrow morning. We'll see how he did in Atlanta. I'll bring it to you. I mentioned that Truth Social post, again, was posted an hour before Kimmel took to the air. Kevin Liptak, White House correspondent, outside the White House this morning.
Yeah, and the timing, I think, was pretty notable here. The president waited more than a day to weigh in on Disney's decision to bring Kimmel back, which was kind of a conspicuous silence. He waited until an hour before this show aired, essentially trying to preempt whatever Kimmel was going to say. And the president's message was one both of disbelief but also intimidation. And just to take it piece by piece, the president saying the White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. So the president saying there for the first time that the White House was somehow involved in these discussions about ABC and suggesting that they were told something completely different from what Disney was saying publicly, which was that this was a suspension. Now, the president goes on to write, he is yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC on this. Let's see how we do, and then pointing to the $16 million settlement that he received from ABC in their defamation lawsuit last year. And so it is this threat of action that's so striking here. He's not exactly explicit about what that would entail, whether this is legal action or some kind of punishment by the government, whether through the FEC for some kind of campaign violations or through the FCC. And remember, the president said just last week that networks that are overwhelmingly critical of him might have their broadcast license pulled. Either way, the president does seem out on a limb here. Remember, some of his own supporters have said he's gone too far, whether it's Ted Cruz, who said that he was being reminiscent of a mafioso. Joe Rogan, the podcaster, yesterday saying that the government should not be involved in dictating what a comedian can and cannot say. Even the president's own defenders last week were trying to say that this was essentially just a business decision and that the government wasn't involved at all. Now, that argument never really held a lot of weight because you heard the FCC chair threatening ABC beforehand, but now the president sort of completely pulling the rug out of that argument altogether.
Kevin Liptak this morning from the White House. I believe Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, Longoria, started out in radio. Like,
he did,
like
yeah.
me and you. I believe he's from Las Vegas. Jimmy Kimmel and Greg Maddux, two celebrities I know are from Las Vegas. Speaking of Las Vegas, Deborah, a casino cyber attack. This is crazy stuff.
A casino cyber attack?
Yes.
I do not have that story.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I
it was.
don't. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was crazy. I'll give you the details in a minute. Do you have an update on Vegas sale, perhaps, where people are wanting to go to Vegas and maybe save some money?
Yeah, so it seems that tourism in Vegas has been significantly down. The entire city is trying to do a sale. So all kinds of businesses, stores, restaurants are offering up discounts this week. So if you want to go to a show, if you want to stay in a hotel, any of the restaurants are having deep discounts. Now, tourism dropped about 11% this year, and Canadian tourism is down about 18%. And the only thing that hasn't been lower is actual casino revenue.
Yeah, I've been waiting for like the Resorts World. Like I stay there a lot because they give me free hotels. I'm like, oh, they're gonna get. I haven't heard nothing. They're slacking up. That cyber attack I mentioned, Deborah. So Las Vegas police arrested an unidentified male teenager for allegedly orchestrating cyber attacks that cost Las Vegas casinos over $100 million in 2023. He's a minor. He faces extortion and computer-related offense charges connected to the attacks on Caesars and MGM Resorts properties. Rather than targeting banking systems, the hacker disrupted internal casino operations by canceling reservations, shutting down slot machines, and disabling hotel key cards. Authorities describe his method as shockingly simple. In MGM Resorts case, he allegedly located an employee's name on LinkedIn, then called the company's IT department requesting a password reset. The 10-minute phone call gave him access to multiple MGM properties, including the Grand, Bellagio, Luxor, Excalibur, and the Cosmo. We don't have any info on the suspect because of his minor stat. I wonder if he was like Nick Papagiorgio. Like he's a minor, and he tried to go to the casino, and they're like, you're out of here, kid. And he's like, I'll show you, and then launches this cyber attack on. I bet you that's what it was.
So he didn't get any money. He just made them lose money.
They lost money. Dumb criminal. There's no profit.
He didn't get
there.
any out of it. Yeah.
He got arrested. Didn't make any money, and now he's going to juvie because he's a minor. I don't believe Alex Williams ever spent time in juvie. Am I wrong, Alex?
No, you're not wrong. I did not. I did not.
He's a clean-cut kid giving you the traffic updates. What's going on the roads, buddy?
Got a new crash in Midtown Mark, 7585 northbound, right at 10th Street, exit number 250 there, knocking out at least a right center lane, and that is stacked up the ride back toward University Avenue. Up in Kennesaw, right lane construction again today, 75 northbound, Chastain Road, exit 271. Already seeing the volume filling in behind that, back to Highway 5. And a crash just cleared on the west side inner loop, leaving the airport, 285 northbound, up around Camp Creek Parkway. Traffic brought to you by the International Hot Rod Association. International Hot Rod Association and Durana Hybrid, reigniting racing and skilled trades, mentorship, education, and legacy. Get your tickets now at ihra.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
That's awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
That's amazing.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
Hurricane season is here, friends, and now's the time to make sure your roof is ready for whatever comes next. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you. At Dr. Roof, they're experts at hurricane proofing your home. From inspecting shingles to reinforcing your roof structure, they make sure your home is secure before the storm hits. Don't wait until it's too late. Get a free, no-obligation roof inspection from Dr. Roof today. Get ready before the hurricane season goes into overdrive. Call Dr. Roof today.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
This is Mike Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers.
And this is Jonathan Geller. Dad, we're celebrating 86 years in Atlanta this month, and people are always asking how you've kept our prices so low.
Well, I haven't bought a new suit since 1982.
I don't think that's it.
We go straight to the source. Diamonds, jewelry, gemstones. There's no better value than D. Geller & Son.
In Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
Starting a business takes grit and fortitude, but to keep it going requires taking care of customers like family. That's our motto, and my family's been sticking to it for decades. Hi, this is Daniel Jape, and you can count on Jape Services to provide quality care and price transparency for your home's heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. At Jape Services, we're a family-run business, and I personally guarantee to treat you like family as well. JapeServices.com.
Jape Services.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Imagine the relief of windows without annoying drafts or high energy bills. Window Comfort's making it easier than ever with buy two, get two free, no payments till 2026, and expert one-day installation. Go to windowcomfort.com for your no-pressure estimate today.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Yeah, typical. We got one. Well, we got one also on scene. We got one also route from Channel 5, and it says there's going to be a sniper on top of the roof.
Oh, that's the Dallas police scanner crediting Broadcastify for the audio there. One person dead, 2 injured in a shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas. Suspected shooter dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Let's go live now. This is Chief Daniel Corno from the Dallas Police Department at a press conference.
Quickly was able to locate the shooter who was deceased. We're going to be working this investigation shoulder to shoulder with our federal partners. The FBI is on scene, and right now I'm going to introduce you to the SAC of the Dallas Field Division, FBI Joe Rumrock.
All right, so we're going to monitor that press conference. No ICE officers were injured in Wednesday's attack. That, according to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Deputy Director Madison Sheehan. Wednesday's shooting marked at least the third instance of an ICE or Customs and Border Protection facility being targeted by gunfire in Texas this year. On July 4th, a group of assailants targeted the Prairie Lane Detention Center near Fort Worth in what authorities described as a coordinated attack that left a local police officer shot in the neck. The officers survived, and more than a dozen of people have been charged for their alleged roles in that attack. Lacey Beasley is a CBS News reporter for KTVT in Dallas.
6:40 this morning, that's when Dallas police responded to an officer assist call in the 8100 block of North Stemmons. That's exactly where we are right now. That preliminary investigation says that a suspect opened fire at an ICE facility. We are learning that those victims were standing in the Sally Port area. Those two of the victims, transported to a local hospital, and we are learning from Dallas police that one of those victims did die on scene, as well as the suspected shooter.
And we believe that the victims were ICE detainees. Again, no ICE officers were injured on that. Want to quickly update that Tylenol story. Major medical groups across the nation criticizing the administration's claim that Tylenol in pregnancy increases the risk of having autistic children. Our buddy Steve Osunsami from ABC.
Doctors across America are now trying to calm the worry. Sarah Sandoval in Houston is due to deliver her child in the next several weeks.
If a doctor who has 30 plus years of experience, delivered countless babies, advises or says it's okay, right? Like, I'm going to listen to my doctor.
Nearly a dozen organizations all rejecting the president's claims that acetaminophen, the main ingredient in Tylenol, is tied to any increase in pregnant women delivering autistic babies.
It's a pretty big story there. We'll monitor that and give you updates. Press conference going on right now, the deadly shooting at the Dallas ICE facility. When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, Deborah's got some tickets to give away. And we're going to go live to New York City, the United Nations reaction to President Trump's long speech yesterday. Pamela Falk, live from the UN, live next on The Mark Arum Show.
Want to save 1,000 bones on your next roof? Nate Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Right now, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. FindlayRoofing.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Two homes, same street, practically twins. One sells fast for top dollar. The other still sitting around like it forgot to shower. So what happened? Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Well, the first seller went old school. Traditional agent, endless showings, price drops, emotional roller coaster, and eventually they settled for less. The second seller, they used Orchard. Now, Orchard doesn't just list your home, they work it. Their agent knew what upgrades would catch a buyer's eye, brought in pros to handle everything, and made that house look like it belonged in a real estate magazine. And the best part? With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, that seller packed up and moved out before a single stranger walked through their old front door. No showings, no stress, no, hey, can you hide the cat and vacuum cleaner again? Just top dollar and a smoother move. Want in? Start with a free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Let me teach you some physics. In a great big wind, the bigger and flatter the object, the more force the wind creates. Surface area times the square of the hypotenuse times wind speed divided by E equals MC squared, or some kind of math. Doesn't matter. But when storm season hits, your garage door is just standing there waiting for wind and physics to break it or dent it or send the whole thing flying down the street. And that, my friends, is science. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Modern wind-rated doors are built to withstand the forces of nature. Composite materials are stronger than the cheap old aluminum door that came with your house. And the tracks and rollers won't bend under the stress. It keeps your car safe and your insurance premiums low. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're ready. And stay in school, kids.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. We head first to Texas. We are following a breaking story, a briefing underway right now following a deadly shooting this morning at a Dallas, Texas ICE facility. Mayor Eric Johnson just speaking.
There's a lot going on right now in our country. A lot of it's confusing. It's a scary time. I've got children. I've got 3 young children, and I'm here to tell you that it is challenging to explain to them what's going on in our country right now.
FBI Dallas says rounds were found near the suspected shooter and they contain anti-ICE messages. 4 people shot, at least 2 killed. The suspected shooter among the dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They say no ICE agents were injured, detainees among the victims. Partly cloudy through the afternoon hours, highs around 90, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She says, get ready for some rain on your drive home this afternoon and evening. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. This just into the WSB newsroom. A mother in Norcross has entered a guilty plea now in the beating death of her 8-year-old daughter. 31-year-old Brittany Nicole Hall and her partner, Celeste Owens, reported the child missing back in November of 2021. Investigators determined that Hall and Owens were not telling the truth about the child going missing and were able to find evidence of abuse of their other children. Investigators uncovered more than a dozen videos that were recorded on a nanny cam and uploaded to the phone showing the adult couple beating all 3 of the children. Investigators were able to locate that child's body in a wooded area of DeKalb County in December. Hall's partner, Celeste Owens, was found guilty of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, child cruelty, and other charges, and was sentenced to life plus 235 consecutive years in prison. Update on a shooting at the Budgetel Inn located at 4900 Circle 75 Parkway near Truist Park. We have gotten word that it was a 9-month-old that was killed. Police called to that motel last night just after 8, a mother telling police that her 9-month-old daughter had been struck by gunfire. That little girl pronounced dead at the scene. Police asking anybody with information to please give them a call. A special election is scheduled for November 18th to replace State Senator Jason Estevez, who's running for governor. Qualifying for the District 35 race begins on Monday. Early in-person voting will be on Monday, October 27th. If there is a runoff needed to settle the race, then it's going to be held on December 16th. Now let's talk about you and your health. A new study finds the world's leading killer, cardiovascular disease, is getting worse. The report, which is published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, says that heart attacks, heart failure, and strokes cause 1 in 3 deaths worldwide. Cardiologist Dr. Greg Roth at the University of Washington.
Populations are getting bigger, they're growing, and the world is graying. It's getting older. Now, that's not necessarily something that we can change all that easily, but there are risk factors that are changing as well.
He says those leading risk factors are high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, air pollution, and heavy metals. Let's take a look at the markets. We're in the red. The Dow, NASDAQ, S&P all in negative territory. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams joining us now with a look at the roads.
Just found some new trouble over in, it's just between Clarkston and Tucker, Sabrina. It's a crash involving a tractor trailer, 2 center lanes blocked, 285 northbound. The outer loop at Highway 78, the Stone Mountain Freeway, already slow back to Memorial Drive. Once you get past that, you got that rolling left lane construction approaching Chamblee Tucker. So just a rough ride on that east side perimeter heading northbound. That crash, 75-85 northbound up around 10th Street exit 250. They about got it out of the right lanes, but still seeing the brake lights back to University Avenue and right lane construction in Kennesaw. 75 northbound Chastain Road, exit 271. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Epwards. Increasing cloud cover through lunchtime. Scattered rain showers for the ride home this evening. Today's high is 90. Lows tonight in the low 70s. More scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder for tomorrow. High 79. Drying out on Friday.
It is 85 degrees in Duluth, 83 in Winder. Marietta, you have 84 degrees right now. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
We've all been
Jam
there.
starting at Langford Parkway.
Counting the minutes before we know we're going to be late because we couldn't count on a traffic app.
Jam from I-85 down towards Ponce.
There is one thing you can count on. Triple team traffic on WSB.
Stay slow once you're inside the perimeter as well.
We know the highways. We know the streets. And we know the shortcuts.
75 northbound heading up to Cobb County through Marietta and Kennesaw.
And all you need to do is listen.
More experience.
More reliable. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
We're here to see if we can get the hostages back and get the war over and get back to
President Trump yesterday at the United Nations. We'll go live to the UN. Correspondent Pamela Falk is coming up next on The Mark Arum Show.
Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you'll make, so who you work with matters. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate are the most experienced real estate team in the U.S., and you can trust them to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed cash offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Castile Plumbing and Electrical knows the best way to handle that dripping pipe or flickering light isn't just wishing it'll go away on its own. Good news for you. You don't have to think too hard to take care of these issues, thanks to our free, no-obligation plumbing or electrical safety inspection with any paid service. The experts at Castile will fix any small problems before they become big, expensive ones, and even have 0% interest financing available on repairs and replacements. Enough with the wishful thinking. Book today at CastileAir.com.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert led by music director Natalie Stutzman, who opens the season with Copland's iconic Fanfare for the Common Man. Then, cellist Elisa Weilerstein joins the orchestra to perform music by Elgar. And your orchestra ends strong with a heroic tone poem by Strauss. October 3rd through 5th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
If you're ignoring any cracked bricks or concrete cracks, you could be ignoring underlying foundation problems. You'll want to get ahead of these problems sooner rather than later. Don't wait any longer. Visit aquaguard.net today to book your free inspection. Remember,
AquaGuard.
The terrible war should have ended, and Russia should have stopped it. But they've been 3.5 years, and they've gotten not so far.
President Trump
So
talking
we'll
to
see what
reporters
happens.
yesterday after his long speech at the United Nations. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Joining us live at the UN, our longtime friend and correspondent, Pamela Falk. Pamela, good morning. As always, thanks for your time.
Good morning, Mark. Well, I've been at UN General Assemblies for 25 years. This one seems to be the wackiest and most stressful. There's so many world conflicts, and yet there's so much right and wrong about the UN. But President Trump got a pretty good reception relative to what his message was.
What do you think were the biggest headlines that came out of the really long speech by President Trump, right? It was 3 times longer than he was scheduled for.
Yes, that was a little bit, Mark, because of teleprompter gate, as I'm calling it. The teleprompter failed after the escalator failed, and so he had to go a little ad lib. So some of it he read, but then he went off script, and that's why it was so long. I mean, I think that's why it's so long, but because he got into things that were apparently not in his speech. But the headline to a lot of the European allies and at the UN is a bit of a change of heart about Ukraine. That President Trump said Russia, he's not looking good. Were his words right now, that they thought they were going to win the war right away and they didn't, and there's been so much suffering, and that Ukraine can regain all of its territory, which no one has been talking about for years, because 2014 was the first time that Russia invaded, and then, of course, the more recent one between Crimea and the eastern part of Ukraine. This is a big change. Then, of course, he talked a lot about Iran, and that the European Union has put the sanctions back in. That's a deadline of the 28th of September, if that actually goes into effect. And the U.S. aided Israel in its attack on Iran's facility. So you got pretty much across the board support for tough talk about Iran and tough talk about Russia. Now, where it was a bit of insults to some of the members of the UN, states, was immigration and climate change. He called climate change and green energy a hoax and the biggest con job. And immigration, he made a point that was much different than what a lot of these world leaders say. It was more America first, national boundaries, sovereignty, and you heard France and other countries talk about multilateralism and stick with the UN. And President Trump came around on that as well. He said, look, we're 100% behind the UN. It just has to reform.
And he wanted a new escalator.
He wanted a new escalator,
yeah,
a new teleprompter, and there was a third fracas, which was that I was watching live, but if you were watching on the screen on web TV, the UN's web TV, in the middle of it, they started interpreting, in other words, voice-overing him in Portuguese. For a good few minutes.
Wow.
And I looked at the screen as I was listening, and I see this Portuguese, and I thought, wait, Lula, the president of Brazil, just spoke. Is he speaking over the president? It was wild. So, there were a lot of glitches.
Yeah, but I think overall, I think, Pamela, Vladimir Zelensky, big win for him yesterday with the president's about-face.
Big win, and he just spoke here a few hours ago, and he's clearly, I think it's more the GOP members of Congress that really felt that Russia was being not only bad on Ukraine, but now NATO is going a bit crazy because they keep violating NATO airspace. In Poland and the most recent is in Estonia.
Estonia, yeah.
And now they're saying, several of the European allies are saying that they will shoot down Russian jets or drones if they violate NATO airspace again. And everyone basically sees it as testing the waters. That Putin wants to see how the world will react if he starts tweaking countries that are NATO countries. So, the biggest fear, which was that Putin wouldn't stop at Ukraine, is being borne out a bit. So I think there was a lot of support for President Trump on that front.
Yeah, Pamela Falk joining us live from the UN here on the Mark Arum Show. One more thing that stood out to me was President Trump basically rebuking some of our allies that are going to recognize Palestinian as an official state.
Yes, the U.S. President Trump said very clearly, let the hostages go now, release them now. And that's sort of a precondition. And then, of course, start the talks before ceasefire and everything else. And frankly, you heard the General Assembly, 142 countries overwhelmingly passed a resolution, but the Security Council can't do it because of the world powers. But they passed a resolution that said ceasefire, Hamas out totally, and release the hostages. And so everyone is hoping that the talks will get back on, and France and Saudi Arabia started this recognition ball rolling, and it's the U.S. really doesn't like it, and Israel really doesn't like it, and he called it a reward to Hamas.
Final question for you, Pamela. Obviously, a big day yesterday, but this isn't one and done, right? There's events at the UN throughout the week. What should we be looking forward to?
Yeah, Iran and Ukraine today. And then the state of Palestine, Mahmoud Abbas, which the United States and President Trump had denied a visa to come, it will be speaking virtually tomorrow. And then Friday is a very big day because you've got Israel, Netanyahu coming, and he said he won't talk about annexation or anything else that's been talked about until after the 29th, because he's going again to the White House to speak to President Trump. And Trump advisors have said they don't think they will allow Israel to annex parts of the West Bank. So a lot will be resting on hearing Israel. Then China is speaking on Friday, as the UK Starmer is speaking, because he speaks later because he's the head of government. The Queen is the head of state, or the King is now as the head of state, and then India. So there's a lot. And then Saturday is the Russian Federation. Now, Putin didn't come this year. He has come, but it will be the very visible and outspoken foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov. So it really goes. There are a few pieces on Monday, but Friday and Saturday are another big days for world powers. So it's not over.
Yeah, it's a UN Lollapalooza. Busy time for you. Pamela, I know you've been slammed. Thank you so much for joining us and give us a breakdown. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend.
Mark, I'm a big fan of the show, so thank you.
Thank you, Pamela.
Nice talking.
Likewise, my friend. Stay safe. Pamela Falk live at the United Nations. All right, busy week, and Pamela's there. Been covering the UN for decades, and so if anything big pops, we'll get her back on. Let's give away some tickets, Deborah. I'm a little tardy to the party. What do we have today?
Tickets to go check out Andrea Bocelli at Gas South Arena on October 11th.
Andrea Bocelli. Vinny, fifth caller, caller number 5, 404-872-0750. Fifth caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Andrea Bocelli, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and WSB. And don't forget, you're going to get another chance to win $1,000. I'm going to give you a keyword right after the new news. 5K Day Bonus Blitz keyword coming up right before Eric Erickson here on WSB. All right, 11:47 on the Mark Arum Show. Let's go live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Alex Williams.
Big jam on the east side perimeter in DeKalb County, Mark. Crash just cleared out of the center lanes, 285 northbound, the outer loop at Highway 78, the Stone Mountain Freeway, but it stays slow all the way up to Chamblee-Tucker. With that rolling left lane construction there in the Tucker region. If you're traveling 75 north up through Kennesaw, you're seeing brake lights from Highway 5 up to the right lane construction at Chastain Road. And in recovery mode downtown, 75-85 northbound, slow from University Avenue up toward Freedom Parkway. That earlier crash in Midtown at 10th Street has cleared. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
We only want to be around people who think exactly like us.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
God forbid you actually converse about the world.
Eric Von Hessler.
Smash and conquer, my friend.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Are you worried that when the temperatures drop this winter in Atlanta, your old furnace is not going to keep you warm and toasty? Fear not. My friends at Reliable have an amazing preseason special right now on a new furnace. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Any size furnace, just $59.99 a month. Unbelievable. Plus 0 down, low monthly payments, and all future repairs, maintenance, even filters. No additional charge for life, plus an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Incredible. Reliable offers fast furnace repairs with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, 24/7 service, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Preseason furnace special going on right now for my pals at Reliable. I want you to book an appointment right now. Go to ReliableAir.com and click on the Book Now button. That's ReliableAir.com. Or call or text 770-594-9969.
I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. I've been in banking for over 30 years, and my team and I know that businesses have the best results when they work with local bankers who know the Atlanta market. Bankers who will work to understand your business operations and bring good ideas to the table. At Ameris Bank, we do that. I invite you to reach out so we can start a conversation. Visit amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
The Findlay Roofing Chief Barking Officer, Rufus, has the zoomies. He's rolling over about saving you $1,000 off your roof replacement. That's a lot of bones. Hey, it's Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Stop repairing the leaks and dragging your feet. For a limited time, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You're building a deck or adding a room, that's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to Sketchhouse.com. That's Sketch, H-A-U-S, Sketchhouse.com.
Hey y'all, it's Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I'm so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. And Four Seasons Home Care was so helpful to my family throughout the process. I get emails from listeners all the time and why I trusted Four Seasons Home Care. They tell me I don't want just anyone to care for my parents. Well, of course you don't. So here's why I work with Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company. They vet and hire every single one of their caregiving specialists, and they don't farm out the care to contractors, and they're not some national corporation. So here's my advice, folks. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. Do your homework. This is a huge decision. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm not going to quiz Vinny on this one. I wouldn't have got it. 65 years ago today, the Howdy Doody Show premiered.
You didn't know that?
No. Well, that was a bad audio cut. When they go, it's Howdy Doody time. Yeah. Like, I would recognize that. But not this Bush League audio we just got.
When is it? From 1930? What was it?
1960, that's all. Wow. It's Howdy Doody time. Anyway, welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Congrats to Randall in Lawrenceville. Won a pair of tickets to see Andrea Bocelli, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show. Your chance to win $1,000 coming up right after the new news. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 just for listening to your favorite radio station. That is pretty awesome. Not awesome. Americans trying to save some money. They are starting to purge things that they don't deem necessary anymore from their budget, Deborah. What are the most purgeable items right now?
Well, the biggest cuts that people are making on our subscription services. So last year, the average in American houses were 4.1, and this year it's dropped to 2.8, which is about a 32% drop in just a year. And they're mostly complaining about costs because it seems like if you're streaming every year, there seems to be $1, $2 to have these extra ones. So the ones that people are getting rid of the most are TV screenings, or food delivery. So I don't know about you, but food delivery, Caviar, Grubhub, and Postmates are the ones that people are getting rid of because I guess you can maybe get more. What's the one you use?
I use Uber Eats, Platinum
maybe
member.
That
Although I got
variety.
frustrated. Again, I'm very level-headed, but I ordered from Goldberg's the other day on Uber Eats when Maya was down at Disney. I got a bagel sandwich, and then I'm like, well, let me get some sweet treats too. So I ordered rainbow cookies and rugelach. You know what rugelach are? It's Jewish cookies. They're delicious. I brought them in. You've had them before.
Oh, have I?
Anyway, so they delivered my bagel sandwich and the rainbow cookies, but there were no rugelach. So Uber, it's very easy. Like if something's misplaced, you just send them a message, hey, there was no rugelach, and they instantly all right, they'll credit you back. So like I did it, missing rugelach. They sent me a thing. They're like, all right, we've credited your account $2. Sorry for that. I'm like, whoa, hold the phone. Rugelach $4.99. You give me $2 back? And it was a process to go. And listen, I know, but it's only $3. But I was like, no, I want I didn't get my rugelach. I want at least full. But anyway, I finally did it. But it was a pain. It took me like 20 minutes to get my full rugelach refund. One other thing showing folks trying to save money eating out. Olive Garden is now shrinkflationing their serving sizes, Deborah.
Kind of. So Olive Garden slashed the sizes of its portion to about nearly half the restaurants. Not all of them have this, but it's not as bad as it seems because diners are actually looking for smaller portions at lower prices. So you can just get a little bit smaller plate, and they still come with your unlimited breadsticks and your unlimited soup. Yeah, so you still can load up on that other stuff, but the ones that have started offering these smaller portions at lower prices actually saw about a 15% increase.
That makes the only thing that I would say, as long as they're charging less for smaller portions, that's fine. Yep. If they kept the price the same and like, oh, here's a quarter less lasagna Longoria, that would be. But I know like Alex Williams, when he goes to Olive Garden, he fills up on the breadsticks and the salad, and then takes the ravioli home.
If you just would have got the never-ending pasta pass, it would have been an issue.
Yeah. Biggest regret of my life. Biggest. The never-ending pasta pass. Life fail.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today is National Cherry Jubilee Day. In Queen Victoria, it was made for Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee in 1897, celebrating her 60th year on the throne.
The only fight I've ever had in my entire relationship with Maya was Cherry Jubilee.
Yeah.
All right, I do like a Cherry Jubilee.
Don't get into another fight tonight over it. I don't want y'all.
No. Isn't that funny? Like, even before we married, that's the only fight we've had. Phenomenal stuff. All right, we got a late addition to Star of the Show. Out of nowhere, off the top rope.
Are you guys ready
Bam.
for the Mark Arum Star of the Show?
Mama Arum, via the Piccadilly text line, fact-checking me, Howdy Doody ended in 1960. It started in 1947. So look at that. Ma Dukes, Mom Arum coming in with Star of the Show, fact-checking her son on the Piccadilly hotline. So, all right, my mom gets a Star of the Show. Let's see, actor Tony Goldwyn. He was phenomenal. Ghost, Scandal, Oppenheimer, Law and Order, Last Samurai. Had a great conversation with Tony Goldwyn. Political analyst Stephen Lawson joined us live. He gets a Star of the Show, as does Nitty. Nitty Beats came in. He's going to have a big conference, October 8th. Creating the Perfect Song. If you're an up-and-coming music producer, or singer-songwriter, you want to check that out. Eventbrite, Creating the Perfect Song. Pamela Falk live from the UN. Craig Figner from CBS in L.A., KNX, with the latest on the Kimmel return. Madison Muller from Bloomberg News. Peter Haralambous from ABC was down in Florida on the conviction of would-be Trump assassin Ryan Ruth. Whew, forgot. Oh, Vinny, Deborah, me, and Longoria. So basically everyone gets one today. All right, tomorrow on the show, travel expert Peter Greenberg going to be talking about some important stuff there. I'll be active on social medias at Mark Arum. Don't go anywhere. Keyword in the 5K Day Blitz, moments away. Stay safe. Have a great Wednesday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
The average one of us is now spending on various subscriptions per year is bumping up against $1,100. Here's my challenge for you. Take time to look through your bank account statement or credit card statements or wherever you might be paying for a subscription and say, oh, I didn't remember that. Can that subscription. Every time you do it, that's money back in whose wallet? Your wallet.
Hi, I'm Glenn Burns. As a meteorologist for over 40 years, I've seen how weather impacts our homes. That's why I chose windows that withstand our weather extremes and keep my family comfortable. I picked North Georgia replacement windows for my home, and I recommend them for yours. Their Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, and they're energy efficient. Plus, I know my windows will stay tight and true no matter the forecast.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
It is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news here at noon is sponsored by Jim Ellis.